on to the cross-examination stuff in about 30 minutes.
Okay, that sounds fair. Okay, so yeah, I used basically 3 pillars for the totality of the evidence. Okay, so if you want to know exactly what those 3 pillars are, this is going to be the testimony with the text messages and the confessions. This is going to be the physical evidence, and this is going to be the totality of the summary of the case. Okay, so right now we're focusing on one of these pillars in my defense, which is fine. I understand that I have to defend my claims as well. So when we're talking about the messages themselves, they seem totally valid. I have no idea why they wouldn't be valid. And I have not heard any good explanation for why it is that these messages should even be questioned. The defense hasn't questioned them, as far as I'm aware. Nobody has actually questioned that these messages came from Robinson to date, except perhaps you and other people who are kind of in that camp. But why should I question these exactly? I'm not sure.
Okay, so first let's just go over legally what the point is of a probative hearing. The defense is not they're not there to say or to argue or to defend themselves at all. They have to address what is being presented by the state, okay? So they're not here to then say, let me give you an explanation for these text messages.
Agreed.
The relevant portion of what the defense did do was actually before we got to the preliminary hearing. I had mentioned that it was initially supposed to be scheduled for some time in May. They asked for an extension. That reading through those filings of why they were requesting an extension and why I actually believe their extension should have been granted because they did not receive on their text messages. That was one of the reasons. There were many reasons why they wanted to have an extension, but this was crucial, right? So forget just the general sense that these messages feel off. And yes, you are allowed to have an intuition. You are allowed to have a sense and just go, this is very weird. We're being told this kid had like above a 4.0, Tyler Robinson. He wanted to get away. I mean, the text messages almost run head to head with themselves. Like he wanted to get away with it. So he thought the best thing to do would be to text a full confession of what he did down to what I didn't even remember saying, yeah, and that's also me in the surveillance footage. It felt a little too on the nose. People have common sense. You just don't text message. But then we're also supposed to believe that he put a note under and burn this and get rid of the evidence. But don't worry about that because I'm about to text you a full confession. That it felt off. It felt weird off the bat. The manner in which they were texting, we're told he's like a gamer who's using a Dremel to carve expressions, catch fascist. But then suddenly he's writing like a 1700
also, as a Helldivers
novelist
player, he did actually get the 500K code correct.
Yeah, I'm not a gamer, so we'll say that if we start debating that, you'll be way over my head.
But yes.
But my point being is just that first, it's a general sense of why people had a reaction to these messages that seemed like they were written by Jane Austen rather than like a kid who games and writes catch.
Yeah, but do you see how that's intuition?
That is. I just said that. I said just parking aside the intuition of just something feels wrong here, which you should follow your intuition. You should actually do that. If you say the COVID vaccine is running out, feels like it's coming out too fast and there's too many celebrities telling me to do it, I'd like to take a pause. That's good. That is, you are allowed to do that. I believe in intuition.
But hang on. Let me respond a little bit here because you've been going for a minute. Let me at least respond to a little bit of this. So the first thing is like when people bring up the COVID vaccine, not trusting the COVID vaccine en masse was the science. That wasn't just intuition. That was the science. There was tons of competing science. Now, they tried to suppress it. That's true. But there was tons of competing science for why you shouldn't take a risky mRNA vaccine and masks and things like this.
Kept telling us was 100%.
Now, when you're talking about intuition, though, when you say trust your intuition, I'm actually giving a different message. You actually should be very wary about trusting just your intuition. It is true that intuition can be useful, but it has to be tempered with logic, reason, explanatory power, and evidence, not just intuition.
That's why we're parking it aside. Intuition's the first step. Something feels off, right?
Okay.
That was my first step with COVID. I don't like the way it's being pushed. It shouldn't require a celebrity campaign, by the way. Another element of that is why people don't feel good about the Charlie thing. Why do we have so many influencers saying things? It's over. Why are you guys all using the same adjective? Can you switch it up? I'm overwhelmed. Like, chill. Like, you could say, I found some parts compelling. I think this should go. I found some parts compelling. Maybe we should, see at the trial. That would be kind of.
Don't you think Fed slop's a buzzword for the counter industry?
But everyone on the same day of watching this trial, which was, I would say, not overwhelming at all, Nobody came in medium, right? No one came in like there were some interesting aspects. This was a little suspect. But I do think it's enough to go to trial. They all came in like they were passing away and we're going to die from being overwhelmed.
Well, they're trusting their intuition.
Okay. Well, actually, in that scenario, they're looking at the preliminary hearing and have a reaction to it. It wasn't their intuition. But like I said, parking aside, just getting to the substance, parking that aside, aside just a general intuition that sometimes might be second messages. Then we look at the filings, which came from the defense, and they were requesting an extension saying, we have gone to the prosecution and we have requested all of this stuff in discovery. Yes, you are saying that you took Lance's phone, okay, and that you collected his phone on September 11th and that you sent it off or whatever. You took a picture of the text messages and we are being given these text messages to review. Crucially, Kathy Nestor said, I have not even been given access to my client's phone during this hearing. She said, I haven't even been given access to my client's phone. She can't tell you, as a part of their discovery request, is it's not enough to say to me, Candace, I just got a text message from Candace, and I say, I didn't send that text message. Maybe that's what her client's saying. We don't know because we're not at the trial, right? Maybe he didn't send those messages. Could there be someone who logged into his Discord? Could there be someone who logged in to his Apple? George could be sending text messages right now. We are married. He has every login that I have. And remember, he's up for a death sentence. So if I'm able to sow reasonable doubt with common sense, he may come during the trial and when they actually have to address these points, say, I did not write those messages. I was here. Lance, my boyfriend, was logged into my phone, logged into my Apple ID and my iCloud sending messages. I know that we have the capability because my husband does it. He has the capability to send messages from my phone. It is not convincing to the public when, for whatever reason, the FBI combined with the SBI, it was not the prosecution's fault. They made that.
I don't know what's going on, guys.
Would not allow them that discovery request to be able
I'll
to
probably
see
post this on
where
YouTube,
did
though.
that message come from.
I'm going to make a new channel.
My client was here, right? I want to know if that message actually was generated from his iPhone
to
when
the
he was
debate.
waiting to retrieve his rifle, hoping that the pooch doesn't have a bad sniffer, like just weird messages. I want to make sure that, yes, it was actually him. He was holding his phone and his boyfriend didn't just log in.
Andrew's waiting for the trial.
Lance was his boyfriend.
And she's
that is a crucial fact
coming up
here.
with something.
That discovery was not met by the time it got to preliminary.
I'm going to wait
so
until it's all done and said.
Unconvinced by these
And
text
then
messages.
I'll make my conspiracy.
Just as you feel convinced by them, I feel unconvinced by them.
If it was good or bad.
So then the
But I'm not going to
idea
say
here
anything
is
yet.
The reason that you
I gotta
don't
make sure
think
my
that
chicken
these
ain't
are
on fire.
valid text message, and you don't, right?
It has not been proven that these messages are valid, and they don't sound valid to me. I don't think anyone, even if someone was selling like a, I don't know, pot on the corner, would be smarter than to write a full-fledged confession. He even writes, I thought I would get away with it, and I was hoping never to tell you until old age. And then we're being told that he wanted to commit suicide. And okay, but he just said he wanted to get away with it, but he's not smart enough to, I don't know, maybe not text it's such a confession like we've never
hoping
seen.
to never tell anyone until I died of old age.
Start to finish written an entire, I'm in this surveillance footage and I'm here and I'm wearing my Converse. You know, I'm being a little facetious here.
Oh shit, let
but
me
it was a little ridiculous. It didn't pass the sniff test for me.
You have kids, and you love them more than anything.
I do.
If it was the case that you thought that your kid was innocent, wouldn't you be out telling everybody and their brother that you thought that they were innocent? And also, wouldn't you maybe recant and say, hey, he didn't actually confess to me. He didn't actually, none of this happened the way that the state is presenting it. What would have prevented the parents from testifying?
Well, two things I can answer that. And if you watch my show, I keep telling you it's not vibes. So right after
it's not vibes.
Lance,
bullshit.
The FBI put him into a safe house they paid for. They went to the parents as well. Matt Robinson and Amber basically said, your life's at risk. There could be somebody who jumps up and wants to avenge Charlie Kirk. And
stop.
Watch you. And they went into a federal safe house. What happened next is that they started thinking that the feds were maybe gonna, maybe not as honest as they thought. And
how do you know any of that?
So you gotta watch the show, right?
Yeah, no. How do you know that?
I had a source within the Robinson family.
You have a source, an anonymous source, of course. So there's no way for us to verify that what you're saying right now is actually even true.
It's not any reliable hearsay.
No, I don't find it to be reliable at all. It's just a source.
I'm just doing what the prosecution
you're doing is
did.
a cool story.
It's not cool. Well, you must have hated watching the preliminary hearing.
You're giving us a cool story. You're saying that according to your sources, that the reason that the parents haven't recanted any of this.
Recanted what? They have no statement from the parents.
Wait, I just want to make sure that if it was the case, it was being reported in mainstream media that your father came to you and said, "Hey, is this you? What's going on here?" And then he and one of his buddies took you in where you turned yourself in. You wouldn't go out and be like, "No, that's not what happened."
That isn't what happened, though. You're just wrong on this.
Okay, maybe I'm paraphrasing. What am I wrong on?
So what is your, sorry, just so I'm clear, where is your evidence that the parents turned him in?
Well, no. I didn't say that.
You said it says the mainstream media?
I said with a sheriff friend.
Yes.
But the father did confront him.
The father confronted what?
Tyler Robinson.
And where did you learn this? That the Tyler
Well, I mean, that's
confronted
part
him?
of the official documents. Our fact checkers can pull that up. But yes.
But I'm saying, but when you say official documents, do you mean you saw this on CNN or you saw this play out in the hearing?
No, this was one of the things that I went through and fact checked pre-debate.
Are you talking about like the charging documents?
I think it was it could have been in the charging documents, but I do. We can pull them up.
No.
And yes, are you disputing this?
Do we have that in the back to pull it up? 'Cause
I can
do know-
already tell you what you're talking about, the charging documents, because this is where we had to figure out where this story came from, because everyone was operating under the assumption that Matt Robinson turned him in. Until we got to the preliminary hearing and we understood, like I said, even for that, when you are charging someone, you can use hearsay. It's all probative, right?
Sure.
Nothing. So they didn't have statements. It's not like Matt Robinson, even though he was interviewed that night. Amber Robinson was interviewed that night by a Fed, separate rooms. Tyler Robinson was interviewed by a Fed. They did not produce statements saying, my son did this. I believe my son did this. But what happened was they did interviews, but also the crucial person here who you just brought up is Mike Mitchell. Mike Mitchell is the biggest unknown in this entire case. Everyone keeps saying they heard from Mike Mitchell this, they heard from Mike Mitchell that. So when the person wrote up the report that night, and it was Brian Davis who wrote up what became the charging document, he after they transported Tyler Robinson from the Washington Sheriff's County office up to, I think it's Salt Lake City. I think it was 4 a.m. in the morning that they got up there. He then writes the what becomes a charging document. So he's basically saying, we all spoke to a bunch of people and here's the information that we got, right? We've not seen that. So it could have come from Mike Mitchell. Mike Mitchell could be saying,
I don't know how this negates the point, though. Why
it
wouldn't
truly
the
negates
parents?
the point, because you don't have a statement from the parents.
Yeah,
you are going.
Why wouldn't they just correct the
It's not correcting. That
misinformation?
doesn't negate the point. The point is that we now got the preliminary hearing. If the parents were the ones who said, I'm turning my son in because he's guilty.
I didn't say they turned him in.
I think you're talking about the over. You said it's been the narrative. Everybody's known this. The narrative initially, which I think you agree with, was that, Matt Robinson knew his kid was guilty and turned him into the police station. What actually happened in terms of Sheriff Brooksby, who was present there and gave a press conference, what happened was this Mike Mitchell character essentially peer pressured him, and we can get a fact check on this. We can find Sheriff Brooksby's press conference. And he said, they know it's you and you're going to come in peaceably, or people are going to be banging down your door. He was a undercover cop, which I don't like that. I don't know what he did undercover. It's very hard to find anything about Mike Mitchell, but he worked with them for 20 plus years, the police officers. The reason why Tyler Robinson knew him was because he lived nearby and he was also his Boy Scout leader.
How does this negate that the parents could write this second? And by the way, if you had the evidence, I'm going to address
that point. I'm just saying that your first point, which is that the parents did this.
Yeah.
We don't know that the parents.
I didn't say that they did ever.
Well, you're quoting the parents as having said. You said that Matt Robinson said that his kid was, you say, involved.
Bro, she's making up a whole bunch of bullshit. I gotta read chat.
Confronted him.
Yes.
And I'm telling you that we have
I wanna
not seen
keep
any
chat up,
evidence that
'cause-
that is true.
We can fact check that.
Okay.
Because we do have evidence.
And I'm saying it's the charging doc, which could have been derived from a statement Mike Mitchell said.
Two things I have ready in the back. One is the charging doc, and the other one is the video of Kathy Nestor saying she hasn't seen Tyler's phone.
Okay, we can run
Which
Kathy to
one
go
would you
back,
wanna
and
see
then
first?
just to
You
go
wanna see
backwards
Kathy
to
first?
Kathy first in court saying she didn't get her client's phone. Yeah, and then I think we'll go to the. If you're okay with that.
A thing not in dispute. These are all things that I'm not even disputing.
Okay, so we don't have to show it.
We never get to the thing that I am disputing.
Well, I was just providing an answer. We were coming back in from a break because you were talking about the text messages as something that you felt was concrete. So it was just my rebuttal to you that it's not concrete because they haven't had a chance to actually answer that. And she didn't even get to see your client's phone. So that's effectively, again, the state saying these messages are real. You don't get the discovery on these messages just yet. She will during trial. They will actually get
Don't
discovery
you
on
think
the
that
messages.
would make their case fall apart if it was the case that they weren't able to actually pull the data off the text messages? Do you think the prosecution would go to court with fabricated text messages?
It's called winners and losers. They may not be fabricated, but by the way, as what they are saying, like I said, if there was somebody logged into his phone, They may not be fabricated. That's the point.
So let's get to the
they just could be somebody
parents,
else.
The parents fact check.
So I was saying, I believe what you're talking about was derived from the charging doc, which was signed off by Brian Davis.
Let's pull it up.
Let's see if that's correct. What are we looking at
Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, I'm sorry.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Is this the charging doc?
I can't see it. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance image of the suspected shooter in the news, he agreed that it looked like their son. He also believed that the rifle that police suspected the shooter used matched the rifle that was given to his son as a gift. As a result, Robinson's father contacted his son and asked him to send a photo of the rifle, which makes sense with the text messages. Robinson did not respond. However, Robinson's father spoke on the phone with Robinson. Robinson implied he planned to take his own life. Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home.
Yes. So this is proving my point. This is from the charging document, correct? Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is that 3 people got interviewed on that night. Mike Mitchell got interviewed, Amber Robinson got interviewed, and Matt Robinson got interviewed. Of the 3 of them, only one of them actually wrote a statement, which was referred to in this preliminary trial. He came in, I believe, in March, Mike Mitchell, and he wrote a statement, which I find to be very shady that they decided to bring.
But why aren't the parents disputing that?
No. Well, first off,
that's the question I've been asking.
The parents are not going to ever play in court. Play to the cameras in court when they have a legal team that is going to be advising them not to speak to the court because your son could go to prison forever.
But they're playing to somebody else who's your source?
I'm not going to address that.
They're playing to someone else who's your source, but won't go publicly tell the media this is not true?
Well, what I did not say to you that I just said I have a source, so I want to be very clear and take it from somebody who is involved and permanently sued. When I have to take my lawyer's advice, I mean, there's so many things that I want to respond to when people are speaking about.
Yeah, but it's bizarre that they would utilize a source which would get the information to you, but wouldn't just go to the media and be like, actually, that's all wrong.
I am telling you that you would nary find a lawyer who would advise you to go to the media.
This mother,
especially when your son is was up for death.
If I thought that my kid was in any way, shape, or form going to be up, you couldn't shut me up. Or my wife, she would be like, "That's not true. That's ridiculous. There's no possible. That never happened. These people are lying through their teeth. They'd be public whether you like it or not."
Yeah, that's for you and your wife. But when a judge issues a gag order in a case and your son is up for death and your lawyers could be advising you that if you say anything, you could blow the case, you would have a more responsible consideration.
I see.
And we're speaking opinion here. You're like, well, I wouldn't care. I'd violate it and I'd violate the judge's orders. And
sorry, I had to write
that. You have a source. It seems like they're violating it with them.
I'm not speaking to a source, but what I am saying to you is speaking just relevant to what this is. We have not seen any proof that statement that is included in this charging document. I think it is highly likely on the basis of the preliminary hearing that all came from Mike Mitchell. And Mike Mitchell would be a part. He's
based
saying,
on the statements of the
it's
parents.
him saying, the parents told me this. The parents could dispute that. That's going to come down the line, right? They're going to be able to seat the parents. I will say this, putting together context clues, if the state had it on, 100% certainty that Matt Robinson and Amber Robinson said it, a 5-day preliminary hearing would be a good time to say we have enough evidence. And I can tell you why Matt Robinson made this statement, and here is his statement that he signed. That would have been a good time to present that evidence.
That would also be a good time for the defense to say that's just totally fabricated.
No, it's not. It's the wrong time.
Why couldn't they?
That is completely the wrong time.
Why couldn't they?
Because what they're doing is they already said they didn't receive discovery. They literally can't. They literally can't because they can't. They did not receive discovery.
You're saying that they didn't receive that information?
No. They just received the text messages. But in order to...
That's not the text messages.
The probative information.
Yeah, we're talking about the information that we just reviewed. That's not the text messages.
They never presented it. The state never put it on.
Yeah, they didn't. The defense could easily still have presented this. Yeah.
No.
They could have said they're no. They're not allowed to. Are you sure?
In a preliminary hearing,
yeah.
the defense is engaging with whatever evidence the state decides to put on. They did not put this on as evidence. Brian Davis was up there.
So they're not allowed to present anything?
They're responding to the state's evidence.
I'm asking, are they allowed to present anything?
They are allowed to say...
Like if there was a conspiracy that they could prove right then and there, would they present that in one of these hearings?
No, it wouldn't be the right time for that.
I disagree. I think that they not only could do it, but they would do it. In fact, when I talked in depth with my attorney, they said that's exactly... If you had actual evidence that there was fabrications by the feds, that's exactly when you would introduce that.
So when in the document that they filed yesterday or a couple of days ago... the appropriate, like what you're doing at this stage of the hearing is the state is saying we have enough evidence that we think this needs to go forth to the trial. Hence the reason why there's this extraordinary, we allow hearsay because it doesn't really need to be perfect. It can be enough that we feel like we can move forward, right? And okay, I disagree with that in general when somebody's rotting in prison, but whatever. The next phase is for them to meet in court and for the defense to essentially present an argument to the state that says, we find this filing to be defective in and of itself. We don't even have to defend ourselves because you, the state, have enough, you know what the laws are on the books, and this filing is defective and you should get rid of these charges because they don't make sense based on what you can decide based on the law on the books. So then that's why they then file the dismissal. Right? So in the dismissal, what they're doing is they are engaging, and this is what was widely misinterpreted.
Well, yeah, they're engaging as though as it's a hypothetical. If this is hypothetically true, then
so they're saying all of these charges.
I'm not disputing any of that.
So that's what you're asking. Why you're saying? Could they just
what I'm asking specifically is like, who could shut parents up who are like, no way, there's no possible. This never happened. This is ridiculous. They would be shouting it on CNN. They would be shouting it from the rooftops. They would be losing their minds. And you're like, nope, the gag order would be enough to keep them quiet. Not enough for them to talk to your source, but enough to keep them quiet. I think that's quite ridiculous. But I'll even concede this whole point to you. Let's just say, maybe this was misconstrued, right? If there's a little bit of reason to doubt it because we're still waiting for the evidence for trial. If that's the case, then why not take the same standard for the evidence that you present? You're just waiting for trial.
Well, you didn't do that.
Wait a second.
We're here.
Wait a second. I just want to make sure that I got this right. That's your argument to me, right?
My argument to you is what?
Your argument to me is that, hey, wait a second, Andrew. There's not enough here that convinces me, right?
Well, that's actually my rebuttal to you, is that you are saying, why are people engaging in what you term to be conspiracy theories?
No.
I term it to be thinking. They're just thinking because they're recognizing there are a lot of holes in these stories and that this is not strong evidence, right? This is the reason they're doing it. I'm explaining to you this is the reason that they're doing it. I'm addressing what you view to be overwhelming evidence. And by the way, I want to be clear.
That which convinces me.
Yeah, well, but thus far, every point that you brought up, every point that you brought up, did you feel like this is beyond a reasonable doubt? I mean, you realize
remember what I said in my opening.
Going to be.
It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's just what I find convincing is what I find overwhelming.
So why are you so upset when people say they don't find it convincing?
If that was the limitation of the claims that you made, if it was just, wait a second, there's a little bit of problems, there's some problems in this case that I have questions for that I want answers to, nobody would have a problem, actually. Least of all me. I would be the least likely person to have an issue with you, any of your fans, anybody saying. In fact, I've had tons of Discord calls about this. My position's always been clear. Of course conspiracies exist. Some of them have way better evidence than others. But I've seen them myself. I know conspiracy. In fact, the federal government has hundreds of thousands of laws about conspiracies. They see them everywhere. We both know this, right? That's never what the problem is. The problem is when you make claims outside of, well, wait a second. I'm just questioning evidence here. I'm just questioning what the state's case is here. I'm just asking questions. It's when you make claims outside of that, where you claim that there's good evidence or good standards, you should believe because, and then it turns out that it's all nonsense or it's wackadoo stuff or it makes no sense. And when we have a chance to cross-examine your evidence that you presented, I'm going to show a lot of them. A lot of this conjecture that's based on literally nothing, that leads from no inferences whatsoever. Like, you couldn't even infer it logically. That's the problem. The problem has never been whether or not you just said, you know, there's not enough in this case so far until we get to the trial. I remain unconvinced. I'm sure there's tons of people who remain unconvinced yet until we get to the trial. I think that's fine. I think it's fine if there's people who are convinced too. That's never been my problem. My problem is the claims which are external to them.
Okay. I'm not sure I really care if you have a problem with what I think in my own spare time. I don't really understand this lecture that you just gave. But beyond that, what I'm saying is that the state is allowed to use. This is what my problem is. You guys are not allowed. Yeah, you guys think while it's illegal. You can. You are allowed to do that. So, but anyway, going back to you saying I wouldn't have a problem. I think I just demonstrated pretty thoroughly that what you claim that you have a problem with is exactly what the state is engaged in at this stage. So it just doesn't make sense.
That's not the case. In fact,
so if people look and they say, I'm looking at the gun and I see, and I'm inferring this, and someone else says, I'm looking at the gun evidence and I'm inferring that, they're both doing the exact same thing.
They're not.
You're just saying, I want to do it for the state.
That's propositionally false.
That is not propositionally
I'll explain
false.
exactly how. It is the case that every proposition is going to have a true or false conclusion, period. That's just logic, right? It's the law of excluded middle. All propositions are going to be true or they're going to be false. When we get into when we're making inferences based on propositions. We can actually come to true conclusions with false premises inside of a proposition, in fact. What we're talking about here is not whether or not you feel that you're convinced by this evidence.
But you felt like you were
right? Sure. But here's the thing. When you ask me my reason, Andrew, why are you convinced by this? I can give you my reasons why I'm convinced by it, why it seems reasonable and rational to me to be convinced. You could even say, but Andrew, I'm just not convinced by it. If that was the limitation of your claims, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. That's why I wanted to have the conversation, in fact, was so that we could move into your actual claims that you've made, which transcend the idea of I'm just asking questions.
Before we get into that, your team has one thing they want to show before we get into that. So if you want to pull that up, this is the prosecution filing showing defense had full discovery by April 1st.
Ooh.
They did not. That's not true.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
To date, the state's prosecutors have disclosed all evidence that is presently and reasonably available to them as required under Rule 16 Utah R Criminal, to be more precise, as of April 1st.
Yeah, that was not 100%. That's why they're caging that by saying what's reasonable. There was an entire, and we can pull this up, like we should now play the Kathy Nestor clip because that's from there. So, and they were basically saying you don't need it at this stage, meaning it's not reasonable that you're asking for this when we're going into a hearing that's just going to be based on hearsay and stuff, things of that nature. But of course, by the time the trial comes, you're going to get all of this.
Where it's just show cause.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so that's
I'm even fine with it.
Yeah, we all know. And then, by the way, just now that the hearing is over, and you can also fact check this, they now at the end of the preliminary hearing dropped like an insane amount of the discovery stuff they gave to them like the week after. You guys can give me the exact amount. I don't want to say because I don't know my I don't remember how much it was. It was an absurd amount of stuff that they gave to them right after the preliminary hearing that they had been asking for. Because that was one of the things that I kept saying on my show is as we were watching that preliminary, why not just give them the stuff now so they can engage in these arguments? Because I feel like you, it's like I want to hear what they have to say about the text messages. Why can't you just give them what they're asking for so that they can actually engage you? And it didn't happen. So, but the judge ruled that it wasn't necessary at this stage, and that was the whole point of that.
Because it's
preliminary to the preliminary, yeah.
Would you like to play the Kathy video?
Well, he's saying he's not disagreeing, so I don't think we need to.
There's no disagreement that she said that.
Yeah.
So so I guess the disagreements now would move into the evidences that you have stated on the record, which transcend elements of reason.
Why are we having a transcendental conversation now? Because
because they're all related to this case.
Your entire thing was about looking at the evidence, which never made sense to me, again, because all of the evidence that you felt to be overwhelming was hearsay. That was bizarre to me.
You told me that I could take as much time as I wanted to question you.
No, but I'm just asking you just to lay the groundwork of what you're saying is
because
problematic, that you decide that it trips into something else. And I do still want to hold you for going through, because we've discussed the gun, we've discussed your...
and you can hold me to those things, but I would like to get into the things
we should discuss the screwdriver.
So, and I'll explain exactly what the groundwork is. When you make claims which pass the idea of I'm just asking questions because the state's evidence is not convincing, I think you have to answer for those claims because they are in regards to this case. You're saying, I have a claim, it is in regards to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which is what we're talking about, not just the case of Charlie Kirk, it's assassination. You should have to answer for the claims that you've made in regards to the assassination itself. You should, agree. So if that's the case, then I would like to finally dive into some of that evidence and dive into it.
Well, just to be clear, and I'm happy to have you talk about, like I said, publicly, you want to engage in some conspiracies, but I said I want to make sure that we get to the substance of our debate. The substance of our debate is me demonstrating that all of the quote unquote evidence that you feel that you have, which demonstrates that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
You don't find convincing.
It's been invalidated by the testimony that we saw, and in your answer for when I explained to you that he had the most degraded prints was, I don't know. Okay, well there lies my ability to process that.
It's just fine for you to not be convinced up to this point. All of your viewers, everybody watching, nobody's giving a dispute that if all your claims ever were just up to now, the evidence that the state's given, I'm just kind of not convinced. That is not what's been happening. What's actually been happening is that you've made tons of claims in regards to this case and in regards to the Kirk assassination, which are far above and beyond, I just doubt, the state's theory.
Okay, yeah, I mean, sure.
And those are the things that
I do doubt the state's theory. I also am welcome to say what I think. If you want to move into opinions, if you want to talk about Erica Kirk, if you want to talk about Turning Point USA,
I'd like to talk about all of it
and get into it, I'm totally happy to do that. But I just want to say that, I do not feel, because I've said what's important to me is that we exhaust this topic first of our actual debate claims. I do not feel that you sufficiently have argued that the evidence is overwhelming.
Candace, question for you.
But
I am sorry you feel that way.
Candace, one question. What evidence do you need to see for you to say Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk?
That's a great question. So I actually expected in this preliminary hearing, the inverse.
All right,
of what
Chad,
he was saying
took
is
so
true,
long. I had to
right?
fuck with the
So
dogs.
this is now the time the state is putting on their evidence. That's the purpose of this hearing, right? The state is using hearsay, but they're also putting on their evidence. So I was just expecting some sort of a slam dunk. Like, we got him on camera taking the shot. At least we have him clear on camera. You're telling me this guy drove 13 hours all around. Like, we can definitely show you a picture that it's going to be beyond a reasonable doubt before we even get to the trial. People are going to see and go, oh crap, like, it was really Tyler Robinson. I was expecting to at least see evidence that, because I had reported early on that the source was saying that Tyler did not step foot on campus that day. It is my perspective that he had something to do with something. I do believe he was disposing clothes at this stage, at this phase. I do believe he was disposing clothes. He was involved somehow. I find Lance to be more suspicious, if I'm being honest with you. And also, like I said, the use immunity that was given to Lance by the feds, the fact that the feds didn't ask him any questions, the fact that I spoke with Lance Twiggs' family, and they were like, it's very weird that the feds are not asking him more questions. He's exactly the person that I would imagine to be involved in some stuff. Allegedly, I'll say allegedly. But when we got to the preliminary hearing, there was not a single piece of evidence that I felt was slam dunk. I was waiting for that, a photo. I mean, anything would have made me go, all right, I think this could be the guy. If they had handed over the discovery on the text messages, since that was their big, ta-da, we've got the text messages, that would be the first thing that I would hand over. But actually, who was holding them up, like I said, it wasn't the prosecution. They're right to say we were handing things over, and we heard the defense argue on behalf of the prosecution, saying it's not them and it's not the SBI, it's the FBI that's holding on to things. As the FBI took everything. The FBI took the gun, the FBI took initially the screwdriver, and then when I heard testimony about the things that they found that were suspicious, example being the backpack, that's something that really bothers me, that they say they traced the shooter, they traced the route that he went on, and then there was an we know it looks like he's wearing some sort of a backpack. We know that there was an abandoned backpack found at the bus stop in front of a library, and they felt that this should be taken into evidence. They took it. The FBI, this was the testimony of Amanda Baker, I believe her last name is, but you might want to fact check that because I think I'm blending last names. She was the forensics for the FBI. And then she says she gets a call on the 13th and they stop testing on this backpack because they find that the backpack actually belongs to somebody on Charlie's team. But if you know the map of the layout of the campus, you're going, well, what the hell are they doing all the way up? This is nowhere near anywhere. And by the way, that's not an acceptable answer for why you just gave it back. That's like, why would you give it back? You're acting like no one's ever been killed by somebody on their team before, right? So I found that to be very strange that it was on the exact route that the alleged gunman ran, and that their excuse was we just gave it back because we heard that this belonged to somebody on Charlie's team. So that to me is, this is why the investigation itself feels underwhelming. When you learn, and this is completely crazy to me, that some of the artifacts that Charlie was wearing were immediately returned to Erica. That's absurd. That is absurd. Everything should be in evidence. When you learn that the car that they carried Charlie in to go to the hospital, they had immediately towed, cleaned, and back up for resale, that's absurd. That should be sitting in evidence. And any police officer that you speak to will say, or person that's been involved in a crime will say, I didn't get my stuff back for years. That had nothing to do with anything. It was just around. And they kept it into evidence until the trial was over and it has to be approved. I think somebody said by the attorney general has to sign off on giving you those objects back. And we were told this is all fine. And
no, what happened? What the fuck? You know what that's gonna happen, chat? It's gonna delete all my Is it because Google's gone? Oh, I might have deleted Google. Dude, all my downloads are gone again. Even though I didn't fucking delete it. Fuck. Chat. So stream, but dude, all the fucking downloads. Fuck. I need to type in here Google. Look for the Google app. Oh, that's the problem. I don't think there's a Google app anymore. Fuck me. All the games are gone again. Damn it. Oh, there it is. Google. The fuck? Dude! I'm pissed. I'm pissed because all my games are almost done. Bro, what happened? Sucks.
The Dog Stars. It's no surprise how fast civilization can disappear. We're the survivors. Living the American dream of the new world.
I heard a voice on the radio. There's something out there.
Whatever broke this world left a trail. This could lead us to where it all began.
Yeah, I didn't go according to plan. Maybe it did, man. I don't know.
The Dog Stars in theaters and IMAX August 28th.
I don't know.
The Dog Stars in theaters and IMAX August 28th.
I don't know.
The Dog Stars in theaters and The Dog Stars in theaters and
Crazy. Oh my god, all my downloads are gone. I just like re-download them. Oh, this sucks. We're almost done. Fuck me. So stupid, bro. They were literally gonna be done today. Alright, hold on. Let me skip these on and then we'll go back to Candace. Candace Owens. Candace Owens. I'm just listening to two games time instead of 5. Snake Eater. Candace. Candace Owens. Me so horny. Me so horny. Alright, what is it? Candace Owens. Oh, and then we're watching the Caleb Hammond one.
I had one girl last night, man. Girl didn't want to give me no program or nothing. We on a hard time. Real hard. Yeah, but you know something?
You're watching on the PBD?
1210. Again, that's 800-795-1210 or visit American.
She's doing another ad. I'll watch it on PBD. So it's neutral. No one gets the views.
Every new contractor makes this mistake. I'm just lucky it didn't cost me everything. Whether it's accidental property damage or a customer making a claim, one bad situation can cost way more than the job itself. That's why I switched to Ergo Next Insurance. The whole process took about 10 minutes online. I can generate my certificate of insurance right from my phone whenever a client asks. Definitely check out Ergo Next Insurance.
Full-fledged events team that puts together events with thousands of people. We have a merch department designing the latest products we just launched. Working at Valuetainment, every day is a surprise. You could be walking into work and right next to you is a governor, is a billionaire, is an athlete. We are hiring aggressively, but Valuetainment isn't for everybody. For the right person, this could be the last company you ever work for. So if you're watching this and you want to learn more, go to vt.com/careers and apply now.
Yeah. Or for PBD. Or for Israel. Or where the money at. That's what I heard at least. I'll go where the money's at, shit. Storming? I'll take my $50 from Twitch. Finally. Just gotta stream like once or twice more. Did 3 12-hour streams, I should have it. This stream and 3 more 12-hour streams. I'll have it. Ah! Finally. Damn, how many fucking ad breaks are they taking? I thought they just said they get $500,000. Oh my god, dude. My ads plus their ads? They're getting $500,000. Andrew's winning completely. This is round 2, so round 3. Okay, round 2. Is it over? Did I miss it? Chat, you got to see it at least, right? You got to see it, chat. Who's winning? I'm assuming it's Andrew because he's just going off the facts that we have, and he's a really good debater. He's not coming up with any conspiracies. But, yeah. That's why I don't debate, because, who knows? It could be fucking not an exploding mic, but it does look like the bullet that hit him, if it was a 30-06, which I know what those bullets are, have them, it would have blew up his whole head. That's the only thing that I don't understand. And then obviously his wife is a whore. He just married a whore. Like, when people don't understand, like, oh, she's not crying. How did she do all that stuff afterwards? She just didn't love him. Or maybe she loved him a little bit, but you know, money, girls when they're young get another guy. Yeah, so. But yeah. The only thing I don't understand is the bullet. Besides that, I'm neutral. It should have came out saying it. It could have been a 30-06. It could have been 5.56. And then I would have been like completely on the facts only side. But the facts only side has a 30-06 on it. Like, that's a fact. No.
Wait, if you were locked up at any Illinois juvenile detention
center,
such as Cook County, the Audi home, or anywhere else in the system, a global settlement may be coming.
I want to give him a leg, but he's fucking. Look at these ads, bro. This is crazy. I want to turn off my.
Okay, so
here we go.
Andrew, before we go into the other issues you want to talk about,
you guys want the chat on?
Is it fair to say you're good defending your position of the overwhelming evidence?
You guys can read who's winning.
Beautiful. You take the lead. Go for it.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of questions for you, and I want to make it super painless, right? So no traps, no gotchas. I'm just going to ask them direct, and I think that as long as they're not loaded, if they're loaded, you should not respond yes or no, but as long as they're not loaded, if I just directly ask them, I'm hoping that you'll just give me a direct answer. So here's the questions that I have.
Wait, before we get into that, I would like to just reply to that. Mm-hmm. So just to be clear, we agreed to debate our claims, and then I agreed publicly that I have no issues having a conversation with you about other things that I've discussed that were outside of the court hearing and things like other evidence that's come across our lap and things that we've been speaking about. But I just do want to make it clear to viewers that for whatever reason you think that you have a right to sort of depose me.
I'm not deposing you. I just want to ask you some questions.
You literally said that I want to be able to question you.
This is a meta conversation.
Right, but okay, so now we're transcending. Like, let's use a word to use a word that you're saying. But this is what you're doing, right? Okay. So this part to me feels like a bit of.
So am I allowed to ask the questions?
I've already said you can ask questions, but I made it very clear to you via email and with you in conversation.
Candace is running.
We should be speaking. This isn't like you get to sit.
I want to ask you some questions.
She's running.
I'm not opposing you.
Defense team, but you're like, I'm just going to ask questions. Can you
She's telling her team.
Blah, blah. It's like, I don't
her team's telling her in her ear, like,
and if you have issues with it,
I'm not.
I get it.
Yeah, okay.
I get it.
Just so we're clear.
Usually in the debate, if something's not loaded, I'm just direct.
And then her team's back in her ear, like, no, don't stop this. Everyone's saying you're scared. Now you got to go.
So
double down.
Super easy. Was Lance
how it is.
DNA on the rifle?
Now she has to double down.
We can't say that for certainty.
As far as you know.
I already answered that in the first part. We can't say that for certainty. I told you the context of which they spoke about those things.
So no, as far as you know.
We can't say that for certainty until we know what other the 5 sets of prints were on.
So that would be no as far as you know.
We can't say that for certainty.
You can say no as far as I know for certain.
We can't
That's
say that
the
for
same
certainty.
thing.
You can
That's
say
That's
that
the
for
same
certainty.
thing.
if your energy here is going to be like you're my dad and you can tell me how to speak or what I'm supposed to say, you're just going to come up against the wall. I'm
Okay,
familiar with
but-
this debate strategy.
but I
like,
am just
yes or no,
telling
yes or
you.
no, yes or no. We're not debating anymore. We're having a conversation. So
We're not
I already
debating
addressed
anymore.
that in the first half of this about why.
No, we're still
there's-
definitely debating. This is still.
No, it's not a debate.
This is
Now
inclined
this
to
is
your.
you saying I want to probe
Yeah.
things that sit outside of the evidence. I actually already
That you've
addressed this.
stated.
You asked me.
Uh-huh.
You're not going to go like where you're
Okay.
sitting and I'm on trial. I'm not on trial.
Okay, great.
So
let's
you
talk
can
about
have a conversation
let's
as
talk
we've
about the
agreed
French.
to.
Let's talk about the Foreign Legion.
Sure.
Was the Foreign Legion, do you believe, trying to kill you?
Yes, that's why I reported it to the correct officials in government. That's what I was told, and I handed over that information to Tulsi Gabbard's office.
What's your best piece of evidence for that?
Well, it was
Positive evidence.
It was told to me
Mhm.
by somebody who is high up in the French government. I passed off that information to Tulsi Gabbard's office. I also passed it off to Trump's office, Donald Trump's office. And that's all I can tell you. I wouldn't be able to probe any evidence because I don't have the power to do that. I'm not the federal government. And I would also like to say that this becomes this other piece of what you do, which is when people say, I was told this, and this is the evidence that I have, and I'm willing to have that conversation and write the email to the correct.
I can't believe she
body
wants to
that
have a
deals with this.
conversation
I
instead of a
can't
debate.
Hack into
Oh, no, I
Emmanuel
understand,
Macron's
but she's
bank
wrong.
accounts and say whether or not the information.
I agree.
But then you go, well, where's your evidence? It's like, well, my evidence is that I reported it. I did the right thing that you're going to do. So if somebody calls and says, hey, Andrew, there's a viable death threat against you, and that person definitively has the rank to be able to tell you this, and you say, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to report that to the feds. Then I go, what's your evidence? It's like, well, I got the information, and I gave the information that I got from who I got it to the right body of people. And that's
Okay.
what I did.
Got it. I just want to
Cool.
make sure.
And so
I'm not
it-
trying to trap you.
Well,
I just want to make sure I got it clear.
and that's why I say I want to know what you're doing now, because this has always been the thing. It's like, we actually can't win on the overwhelming claim. So we're just going to go and bring up everything that I think can try to embarrass her. I reported
I'm
exactly
not
as I
trying to
received
embarrass
it.
you. I just want to make sure that I get your
Yes,
positions clear.
I have not said, yeah, go ahead.
Now, you have stated multiple times that you believe that Israel's involved in the death of Charlie Kirk.
Can you give
Yes,
me...
we can pull up the clip.
Can
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
I finish the sentence?
Go ahead.
Can you give me the context for what are you talking about? Like when I say, generally speaking, why people think that Israel's involved?
Hmm.
Okay. Where's your question?
Yeah. Do you have any positive evidence whatsoever that Israel killed Charlie Kirk?
Well, I couldn't say Israel was on the ground and shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I would say that there are various things that we're trying to establish, one being a motive. And since I don't believe that Tyler Robinson and his transferee is a convincing motive because he was fired up about politics, which Lance testified that he never spoke about with him, nor do I believe that he was so into LGBTQ issues, since Lance testified
those
he never spoke about
1-5
LGBTQ
guys.
issues, that he stopped and ate at Chick-fil-A,
Used to be
which if
good
you are into
US
LGBTQ
Marines
issues wouldn't be your
are
lunch before you go
fucking
kill
heathen
Charlie
right now.
Kirk for LGBTQ issues.
Or maybe I got it
because,
wrong. Maybe Andrew.
Yeah, but do you have positive
Israel.
evidence?
I'm answering the question as
But
I
that's
feel
the
like I want
thing.
to
I've been
answer it.
watching
Like I said,
Andrew
you don't
before
get to for an
all
hour and a
this,
half.
bro.
But
pepper
the question I'm
questions.
asking is about
he's not
positive
for
I'm
evidence.
Israel.
telling you that in any case, establishing a motive.
He's just a
and
debater, bro.
And again, I already explained this at the top of the show, but the reason
These
why
people just
people
don't
find
know, I guess,
Israel to be
Andrew,
an
I guess.
interesting question is because, truthfully,
That's the
Charlie's
difference.
perspectives were changing on Israel.
Sure.
And he was
So
starting
they're
to
assuming
realize how
everything
much
is Israel,
pressure was
Israel,
being put
Israel.
on not just our government,
Maybe
to
90%
constantly
of it
fight
is,
their
but
wars, but also
Andrew's
being
not,
put on his
so.
organization personally. If people had come out and been honest about that, rather than rabid claiming he never flinched and everybody's lying and this is not true, you would probably have people that just go, that's life. People change their opinions.
I understand.
And then there was the rabid, I mean, not even that. It's like everything was about trying to convince the public how much he liked it.
So then,
loved
other
Israel.
than intuition, how you feel about things, do you have any evidence Israel
I
was involved in
have-
killing Charlie Kirk?
I have already
why is my shit
said,
on
and if
fucking-
you're watching my show and the context of what I said, this is the general
There you
sense of
go.
why people think Israel's involved. Nobody has made the claim that Israelis, there were also, obviously
Ian
Joe
Carroll
Kent.
made the claim.
Well, Joe Kent, who I think would have the right to assert it, noted that there were 12 Israeli cell phones on the ground that day. I think most people would like to
12 Israeli cell phones.
maybe they were students, and they
Yeah.
were Israeli students in Utah that day. But we'd like to probe that narrative because what we've seen after coming from the Israeli government, the Israeli prime minister, kind of denying that he did it, which wasn't really.
I don't
necessary, which
understand
got
though,
busy.
because Charlie Kirk
The
was
phone call
for
that happened, which
Israel.
no one wants to discuss in the Hamptons the week prior.
Not completely, but
or not the week prior. I think it was.
I mean, there's more people that are anti-Israel than him, or pro-Palestine.
About Charlie shifting opinion on Israel.
I don't even
lead
make
us
no
to
sense.
believe that there could be an Israeli angle in this, but we cannot say for certainty that Israel called the shots and this is how it happened. But it is definitively, I think, a thread that a lot of us would like to see.
There's no
pulled.
positive evidence.
Whatever you want to say, however positive, negative, however you want to say it.
Well,
I
like
don't
positive
need to,
evidence
I can just
would
have a
be
conversation.
material evidence and other evidences which would
what
point
we've
you
said
to
is on our show is what we said, which is
They're saying
this
TPSU or
feels
whatever is
like
an
a conspiracy
Israeli
building.
group
There's
now.
No reason to lie about these things. And
Why
yet
the
people are
fuck
lying.
would they kill
BB
someone
ain't acting
from
right.
their
The
own
Hamptons thing was weird,
thing?
and
They could have
the way
just
they
convinced
tried
him to
shove the
stop talking
Israel
about
narrative
whatever.
down our throat immediately. I mean, the day he died, posting a picture of him with
I
an
don't know.
American and Israeli.
I think
AI
it was this
photo on the
transgender
president's
guy.
feed. Doesn't feel right.
Do you have any evidence that Erica Kirk or TPUS?
I don't think he did it alone though.
I've never said they participated.
If he did it
in the murder of
alone,
Charlie Kirk. So how could I? Say
someone
that I have
helped
evidence they
hid the
participated
rifle
in
or
the murder
something.
of Charlie Kirk.
He definitely was talking to others about it.
I never have said that statement, so
Or
I'm
maybe
not
you
going
just
to get
fucking
you
did
to
it out of the blue.
Ask me personal questions about things that I've never said on record.
Okay, fair.
I hate the people that are like, "Oh, how can you make that shot?"
go ahead.
Dude, he said his dad has a $2,000 scope on it, and that's what he was worried about. You look up those $2,000 scopes. You can shoot a mile away just by clicking all the little buttons on it, and boom, it shoots itself.
Candace said she has full confidence Israel was involved.
Those new scopes are fucking absolutely amazing. They
You said
detect
evidence
wind,
that they killed him.
the
I
MOA.
said that this is why people think they're
They get
involved
your
in it.
dope for
They
you.
have the clip. They can play the clip.
Yeah.
They're referring to.
They get it all. As soon as you pull that trigger, it hits it right on target.
My guess is Pierre. Erica. I think that there's a reason Pierre knew that Charlie was dead first. I think there's a reason he was a priority. How? Why? I think France and Israel are involved.
Look
in
at
Charlie Kirk's
Candace's face.
assassination.
She's almost like,
And I'm going to put that out
what
there.
the fuck was I thinking back then?
Okay.
I also involvement.
I understand.
Yeah.
So you
That's-
think you with full confidence you think that
Yeah, I think
that
Israel's
France
involved.
and Israel.
Yeah, I mean the person
France
that gave me that thing that I
and
reported
Israel's
said
involved
that,
with
French Foreign
fucking
Legion were on the ground
Charlie?
That day. Again, this would be
What?
a professional limitation for me to then go.
Wouldn't they
and
rather?
probe that
I mean, they
information
did
that
try
I
to
handed
kill
over.
Trump, but
I can't do that. I'm not
But
the
you don't
United
have
States
any
government.
positive
it
evidence.
wasn't
Okay.
France. It's just
Liz,
random people.
Can you
But
just stop?
still,
It's,
what
it's
the
actually just like
fuck?
annoying to hear you keep saying positive evidence. I just asked me what I think, and I just tell you.
Candace, you have no
Yes, I think
evidence.
They are
That's
involved.
a claim.
No, I said here's what I think.
I have every right
think-
to ask you about your claim.
Yeah, but
and if there's
I said,
positive evidence
in
for
this
your
statement,
claim.
I literally just said I think, and I am allowed to think. And
Yeah,
you
you're
keep
allowed to
saying,
think,
do you have
but you're making
positive
a
evidence?
claim.
I have tons of positive evidence that I'm allowed to think. Yes.
I agree. You're allowed to think.
Okay. So
Nobody's disputing whether or not
yeah, but
Candace
like
Owens is allowed to think. What I'm asking is
but
you have
what's your issue then? What is your issue with the statement?
evidence.
I think
Uh-huh.
that Israel is involved.
That's
I
not
do.
what. That's not just what you said. You said
I did
that
say I
it's with
think.
it's with full confidence.
Yes.
You
That
would
I
think
mis-
that if you had full
Can you have confidence
confidence
to think when you think?
If I said, for instance, I think I'm going to be late to work, right, with full confidence, I would say my evidence for that is that I'm 20 minutes away and I need to be there in 5.
Andrew,
That's how you would know whether or not you had full
I'm just going
confidence.
to tell you something.
Hang on, let me finish.
Sure.
Let me finish. If it was the case that I said I have full confidence I'm going to be late to work, I would say my evidence that I'm going to be is that work is 20 minutes away, right, and I have to be there in 5. So I have full confidence. That's why I would think that. So I'm asking, if you think that Israel and France were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you say with full confidence, I'm just asking for the evidence, or at least walk me through the mindset of why it is that you could think that with
I
evidence.
actually don't have to walk you through why I think. I can give you something that I
She's
think
an idiot.
with full
She's
confidence. I
usually
think with full
word
confidence that
saladaing.
you know
Bro,
lost
you
the
can't
substance
say
of this
words
debate,
and
now you're moving toward
full
things that I have
confidence
said
means
that I
you
think,
know.
which I can do. I'm
They're
allowed to
pertinent
think
to this
that.
debate.
You're lying to
It-
people.
It's
You're
not
just-
exactly pertinent to this
It's
debate.
100%
It's
pertinent.
not
You
pertinent
destroyed
because
you.
our
These
debate
are claims made about
This is
Charlie Kirk's
fucking
assassination.
dumbass
That's the
logic
complete
shit.
substance
But
of the debate.
no, actually,
She doesn't
would you
know
like to
anything
remind me of
about
what our debate
words.
claims actually were?
And would you like to remind
You
that you
said-
said I could ask you about any of these things
I
to my
said
heart's
feel
content?
free, but you do not get to structure how I'm allowed to reply or ask me.
He's
what
not
your
strawmanning
response
you.
is.
You're allowed to
He's-
reply. I'm just asking you direct questions.
That's
I
literally
have
your
full
steel man.
confidence that you do not feel that you represented your claim well. And so now what you came
He's literally
still
manning your claim.
Yourself like a professor of fallacies.
I just want to know.
And to say you are not allowed to say that. You can't.
You can say whatever you want. Nobody's disputing that. I'm asking.
It seems like you are disputing
I'm asking
it.
specifically
I think that when this is all said
that.
and done, I've already explained to you. I explained at the beginning of this why I think Israel is ultimately going to be proven to have involvement in this. I just explained to you in the middle, and now you're wanting me to structure the sentence or provide evidence. You don't have to. You're just allowed to think. And I've explained to you my thought process. I don't need to structure it in a sentence. If you feel like a professor today, you picked the wrong day.
Don't you think that like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people would want to know what Candace Owens' positive evidence for why it is that Israel and France were involved?
Yeah,
in
no.
the most traumatic public assassination.
No, she's right. No, because they're fucking idiots. They don't give a shit.
Watch my podcast.
So you're just going to drip to them? Like, here's why I think
dripping.
that?
Every time we come across any of these discussions, they're watching this in
she
context.
Got
and they know why I'm saying it.
Bro.
So, for example, when
and
you're bringing up
the people that watch her podcast
are just for France doing this. I just told you someone who was high-ranking in the French government.
I mean, the same people that watch Andrew.
Of course.
He definitely
won.
Of course.
But
so there's good reason to doubt this. So it's not a conspiracy, though, if I then took it to the federal government. Like, you can't just go out there making a claim to the federal government. You get in trouble for making false statements and things of that nature. So, and then you go, well, I'm going to probe that. Well, how can you probe that? This happened to me. I can ask you. Well, that's not what I'm probing specifically.
This is Candace. This is Candace.
My experiences and what's happened to me, and you're basically coming in like you're gonna regulate how I'm allowed to say it.
Hello, McLovin. I have a video for you to react.
You sound
Sean, you gotta wait.
Like you just don't want to answer questions.
We're in the middle of a debate.
You literally say it in the way that you wanted me to.
It might be hours long, buddy.
Run away from it, but I would like for you to actually focus on it.
Let's just go through every clip that you guys have prepared because it's pretty. I think with full confidence, people will recognize the strategy that you're trying to employ. So let's get to the next clip.
Yeah, I got a new setup.
Sure, they can pull up whatever clips
whatever
they want.
it is that
Same
you guys
room.
have prepared. So
but I would still. On this point, I just want to make sure that you have full confidence that France and Israel were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
I think
and you have no evidence for it.
I gotta get a whole new computer. My computer's broken. Every time I start it up, it deletes everything.
Like I said, I can explain.
So every time I start it up, everything I saved from like all the settings you need for your streaming stuff, it deletes every time. I need a new copy of Windows. It's corrupted. Oh, I'll show you right here. It's right here. Oh shit, I could have fucked up the thing. If I click sign out now,
David does
every time I start my computer that pops up.
Pages, creates product content.
So I need new copies of Windows and my hard drive's corrupt. So
pass down that message to Tulsi or Trump.
Tulsi's office, yes.
Tulsi's office. Are you?
I don't like fucking around.
Them who told you that, or you're just saying, "Here's what I heard."
So I'm not fully streaming until I buy GTA 6,
which I thought was
and then
Trump's office never got back to us. It was kind of weird
because that ain't gonna come out for a while.
Maybe they're not the.
I'm gonna.
I did receive a response from
this winter when I get off of work and I get on unemployment. I'm going to so probably in the end of October, beginning of November, I'm gonna buy a new hard drive, put a brand new copies of Windows on it, and my computer should be virus free and able to stream again.
And that. I mean, it was a lot of information, but
like
without problems.
Who it was from.
Not in the first.
I can stream, but there's just too many problems.
They do contact you.
100.
Are you comfortable giving 100%?
That's why I haven't been streaming.
I would absolutely give them.
I'm streaming now because it's fucking raining all over the place and it can't work. So
why are you not?
Yes, it's very strange to me.
You know, so.
And I only need $4 more.
They may respond back and say, "We did." You know, that's their position.
I did. That's why I did it in writing.
To take out my 50,
but yes,
I'll show you later.
So if they
and right away.
I gotta
his
stay quiet.
Margo got right back to me. She said it was on his desk.
Clips
so
for this.
He has that. There's no.
And if you do say that and they contact that individual, obviously you don't have to leak your sources here. Is there enough credibility where that person
I don't know who's winning yet
to talk to them and explain to them exactly what their sources are?
Yes.
Okay. I mean it
seems reasonable. And so why he's asking me to defend that is like
I'm not.
I think those are two different things. That's more.
I gotta look up which one's better for. Streaming and which one's better for GTA 6.
What do you think about that, Andrew?
What?
I'm getting GTA
the fact
6.
That she emailed, she gave.
That's the whole reason I'm starting to stream again.
Probably didn't think it was
just to get ready.
I guess, but
get ready for it.
It
but
was actionable. Great.
I also
Every lead
got to
should be
fix my
followed
shit
up
first.
on within the confines of what's rational and reasonable.
Is it fair to say that this is maybe a
I want to
different
buy a
individual
console, but
because this
I
is a
don't think
person
it'll
that
run
is
on
involved?
a console. It'll be
Would
too
you
slow.
say
We don't-
had a relationship with
Wait,
Charlie?
who?
No, her relationship. Like
Yeah.
this isn't just anybody. So if an average person sends it, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know who the source is. We don't know any
Well,
of
then,
this.
if you were in that department, wouldn't you want to, even you assign it to one of your
There's
guys
no
to
guarantee
say,
they didn't look into it. How do we know? We don't
How
know.
could they
No,
if they
how
didn't
could they
come
if
get
she didn't give it
the
to them?
information, more of the information, because it
And
was a
by the way,
long file.
Yeah.
This is a separate, this has
Did
got
you send
nothing to
them
do
the
with the
guy's
debate.
name?
This is more on
Well, I sent the email assuming that's you kept saying like you go and you make a report, you think they're going to come back to you and say, hey, what's more information? We're investigating this, and that didn't happen, and which is what I raised.
No,
I
I'm
found
asking,
that,
did you send them the
especially
source of
because
the
this was at
claim?
a time where they were saying that they wanted to explore every possible lead. I even texted Dan Bongino.
But did you-
So I actually
Dan
it was three officers.
Bongino.
Let me ask one
The
question and then
executive
I'm
office,
gonna
FBI agent.
Dan Bongino,
Yeah.
and
I remember him.
and Tulsi Gabbard's office.
Okay, so a follow up to that is
Dude,
the
none of those
following.
people work there anymore.
If they contact you to
Trump
say,
lost all his people.
is that specifically to the French government or Israel's involvement in the killing of Charlie Kirk?
That wasn't about
Those
Israel.
are two separate things.
That wasn't about Israel. It was
Okay,
they were
got it.
saying the French foreign, that person as a part of it was saying that it was the French Foreign Legion that was on the ground that
So
day.
I'm surprised
And
they haven't
think
called you.
Then I find that to be
Yeah,
very strange.
unfortunately, I have to
Because
watch
Who would
this
want to make a report? Like, I mean, I've
because
never made
it's
a report
very
with the federal
popular in
government.
Let me ask
did,
one
but we
question.
just
Let me just
did
ask one
send
question.
it.
Let me just
How
ask one
long
question
would-
and
tw-
I'm
12
gonna
hours?
Bring
Okay.
it to you.
Sure.
The question is in regards to. I've not seen that clip, so I'm seeing it now. The
Till-
I'm full confidence. I believe.
till
that
it says
Israel
12
was
hours.
involved. Is that
So,
also
10
based
more
on a
hours.
source
10
that
hours
somebody
and 20 more
told you
minutes.
That Israel was involved in the assassination of
So
Charlie
don't
Kirk,
worry, you
or is
got
that a
time.
gut feeling?
So in terms of Israel, I mean, what I've said is what I publicly have said here. I do think that at the end of this,
Unless my
we are
computer
gonna find
breaks.
that Israel was involved. I
Which
do.
it might.
Now,
But then I'll just
in
restream.
terms of any of the hard evidence that's been presented,
won't be
I
a
think this has been
12-hour
a huge problem a lot of us
stream.
have had. Is
It'd
that
be like
they
2
won't
6-hour
even
streams or
explore,
whatever.
anything else that was going on in Charlie's
But I'll be
life
pissed.
personally. So if we're
I'm
not
trying to get it
satisfied
to
that
say
Tyler
12
Robinson
hours,
did this
but
in any way,
hopefully it
then
don't
every
crash or
alternative theory
anything.
should be explored. Other evidence should be brought forward. We've done that in our capacity. Like when people keep saying she has no evidence, it's kind of crazy. I think we've broken like more stories than any news source in the world. I mean, down to pictures, details, police officers, what the dog's name was, because we're not the only people that believe there's a conspiracy here. The police officers that were
ring.
involved, the many police,
Big-ass
sheriff's
diamond.
offices, that were departments that were involved that day, all believe that there was a conspiracy. Down to the U.S. Marshals believe there was a conspiracy. They were my sources.
I gotta
that
get a
the
new
U.S.
laptop.
Marshals were saying they were basically sent on a wild goose chase
Could
that
have
day.
But do you see how you
trading
say my
stocks.
sources?
Am
And I
not
need
allowed to
one.
have sources?
Well,
Like
the thing
news,
is funny.
So is CNN allowed to have
Well,
sources?
hang on. I
but
have
we can't?
So I can
sources. If
trade,
I said I have
mobile.
sources that claim none of that's true. In fact, my sources claim that her sources are lying. My sources claim that.
But it has
there
to be
is-
a
None of them
MacBook.
believe that there's a conspiracy.
So
My
I can
sources
edit
claim all
videos,
of them really
obviously.
think that Tyler Robinson was a lone.
I need a
gunman. If I
MacBook
just said that as hypothetical, wouldn't
for
you
the
say,
videos, like I
"What?"
said
Yeah,
before.
I think what probably adds
And
weight
now I
is like
need it
then when I
for,
drop photos of the car that no one was supposed to see,
stocks
people
too.
go, okay, her sources are legit. So,
But
again,
this
what
is
I
about
say
Tyler
in the report,
Robinson
nobody knew
killing
those
Charlie
things.
Kirk.
People are recognizing
That's
that
what this video
my
is
sources
about,
are
just so you
legit.
know,
When I say
Sean.
Charlie,
It's
was
Candace
scared
Owens
in the
versus
last days, and
Andrew
then I
Wilson.
dropped the text
So
message,
Candace
which you
Owens
just learned about a
believes
couple of weeks ago of him saying he was leading
Charlie
the pro-Israel
Kirk's
cause when
neck
everyone was lying about that.
exploded,
And they said, I
and
think
it was
Candace's sources are
Israel, and
legit.
Andrew Wilson
So I think
believes
what's
it was
happened is
Tyler
I've actually built
Robinson.
up a rapport with my audience that it's not vibes and dreams,
So,
and that's why
I
they
don't
keep
know what the
watching
fuck
my
happened,
content
but
because
this is
like for example,
really
when I
popular,
just the
so
other
I'm trying to
day
cover it.
released the content of the shooter on the roof doing the lateral crawl, then they're going, I don't think these are just vibes. It seems like Candace's sources are legit. So I've proven myself in the market.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would legitimize your sources as being legitimate when it comes to the idea that, oh, they all believe that there's a conspiracy going on, which is actually what you're
How
claiming
much did
is
you pay
now.
for
How
it?
would that
I was
actually,
just-
hang on, I'm almost done.
Like, what's the
How would
spec?
that-
Talking to PBD,
How
we're
would
not
that
really-
legitimize? Well, it's not his debate. How would it legitimize these sources that even if it's the case that you get some court footage or some things like this, why would it legitimize that your sources are telling you?
And what's
all
the,
marshals believe
the
it's
monitor?
A conspiracy? The police believe
I
it's a
forgot you gotta get a
conspiracy.
monitor,
Everybody believes it. How would that
has to
legitimize
be-
Well,
any
what
of
I
that?
am saying
Good
to you,
refresh rate.
you are not forced to believe it. So let me just explain what I was answering here, and I think that you understood what I was saying. Is I have, because people trust me, compiled a lot of information and presented it to the public, and this information has been proven true We've presented photos, we have presented videos, never before seen stuff. The public has never seen it. And so what that does is your audience goes, okay, when she says that she has these sources, clearly she's telling the truth. Now, whether you would then go, well, I'm going to believe her when she says they think that there's a conspiracy, that's up to you. You cannot watch my content. I'm not here to tell you that you have to watch my content or believe everything I'm saying.
Well, don't you think questioners should get questioned as well?
The laptop has a monitor itself. It should tell you how fast it goes.
Am I just like
Well,
saying what I
like my old laptop only went to 60 hertz.
What do you mean they should answer questions?
The newer ones go all the way up
just
to
like if you want people to come in and answer questions for you. I have questions
but 144
about
is really good.
Investigation.
120 is all
about
you
this.
need.
I have questions about that. You want them to answer your questions.
Or it says
Doesn't it seem totally
one
fair that you
millisecond.
answer back
It's called
the questions
refresh
people
rate.
have for you?
Well, they're not
Look
answering
up
our
refresh
questions, so
rate
it's
of
also
my
fair that they
monitor.
don't answer them.
So you're
And that tells you how fast
Andrew
your
Colbert should be in this chair. He's not.
computer
That's
is.
his prerogative.
But isn't that a double standard?
No, it's not
Compared
because he's
to-
not doing it.
Yeah, but what that
the
would still be
game,
a
I
double
guess.
standard. If you're requesting that he does do it, then that seems to infer that you think he owes you answers.
Oh, so inferences are allowed again?
And they never weren't. So that seems to infer that you think that he owes you answers. If that's the case, then don't you owe answers?
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm answering your questions and his questions about, I mean, I'm talking about Andrew Colbert. His position is he's a spokesperson for Turning Point USA. So when the crowd turns against Turning Point USA on the basis of a lack of information or because there has been, I don't know, seeds sown of distrust, I would imagine, and forget answering my questions because it doesn't need to be me.
But aren't you sowing a lot of those seeds of distrust?
Well, I think they're doing a pretty good job themselves, if I'm being honest. You can blame it on Candace all you want.
Well,
people love to do that.
The thing is funny is
people
like,
act like I'm
I think
ground
their
zero.
PR I'll be fair with you.
Ground zero of people not trusting Turning Point USA.
I think that there was some PR.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
They already got
Just
so
by
many
thinking
fucking
about it.
ads themselves.
Meet Base 44.
One thing though that I want to just directly ask you is, do you actually believe that anybody in TPUSA or Erica Kirk or Erica actually participated, had foreknowledge of, or facilitated the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I'm not going to get myself into a legal pickle here.
A legal pickle? What the fuck is she talking about?
I think firmly that
I don't know why that was funny.
If I was the investigating officers, I would seat them out and I would ask questions at this space. I would.
Okay,
so,
what does
using
that
hypothetical,
mean? Does that mean that you do think so?
I think it was not a sufficient investigation into what we know to be true of 80% of homicides. It's usually conducted by someone you know, right? And the fact that that was never even considered, that like I said earlier, the backpack was returned.
How do you know that was never considered?
Because they gave back the backpack as just one example. They gave back the backpack. They gave back the.
That doesn't show a conspiracy.
Well, I mean, it shows that the police trusted everybody and didn't just hold things up for a second.
They ruled them out as suspects.
That quickly, I'm not comfortable with that investigation. It's a pretty big organization. There's a $100 million incentive. This is
what $100 million incentive?
What I'm saying is his organization, like it had grown to, I think it was 100 million
plus per year.
Yeah, per year. If that's something you want to factor.
Yeah, but what was
your team wants to play video? If you don't mind, there's a video they want to play of Candace said it's impossible.
How many milliseconds?
Erica's complicit.
Does it tell you how many milliseconds?
Yeah.
And so right now, their guys are going out and they're going to look for evidence. And then by May, which is fortunately around the corner, then she'll see
my old one.
what they found. So what the F is that performance? How could you sit up there and say, yes, I 100% believe Tyler Robinson did it?
How much you pay for it?
That right there is why it is impossible
Does it run?
for me
Does it
to
run
think
good?
that Erica Kirk is not complicit somehow. Because what?
Those
so like
two thoughts
for
actually don't
like what do you
even
play
follow.
with it?
How would it be the case?
Is
that
your
even
regular
if Erica Kirk
your old
did
PC
believe
better?
That Tyler Robinson,
like the one that was
100% responsible
just like mine
for the death of Charlie Kirk. Let's just say she believed it with every fiber of her being, believed all the evidence because she did. She just actually.
We had the
did.
same PC.
Would it then follow that somehow she's complicit?
I got a few new
death?
parts, but basically the same.
I didn't say complicit in death. You added those 2 words.
And I had to get
Okay,
way
what's
more
she
new
complicit
parts
in?
now.
Yes. So sowing this narrative that Tyler Robinson is guilty. So you're chopping up clips, like I said.
Run
You didn't have the
GTA
confidence to
Okay,
put it
well,
in
tell me,
debate, so
what
now
does
you're
that
chopping
mean?
it
What does
up.
complicit mean?
We are showing a clip of her on Barry Weiss, which I can't remember the date that she did that interview. And Erica, when
No,
she's
this one
asked,
seems
"Are
like
you
my
going to be able-
old-
Do you feel
Oh,
with 100%
so this
certainty
one
that
seems
Tyler
like
Robinson did
the
this?"
one- basically
And she
that
says,
one
"I
with
do."
laptop one?
Then again,
That's pretty
context
cool.
matters. I sit down with Erica for 4 hours under the assumption that she had
Well,
some evidence, right? Like
we had
I'm
the
like,
same
I
one,
actually,
so.
this is why I did not engage.
Your old one you
in
could've
any,
streamed
like,
on.
Erica, everyone's questioning what she's
That's what I'm
wearing
streaming
and all
on.
this stuff. I was like,
But I'm gonna
gonna
upgrade
wait
it
here
a little bit for
because
GTA 6, and then
I
I
don't know,
have
this
to
just feels weird to think that
for every.
did I think
thing I
that some
did
of her
before.
mannerisms were weird and stuff like that? Yeah, but that's not, you can't convict somebody on weird mannerisms. And then when I sat down with
I
her,
can't believe every time
and
I
was
log in, I
expecting
have
for
to
her
restart
to say, well,
my
you know,
settings.
I'm obviously the victim on the case, and we got to see
Oh,
the
16.
shot, you know,
The
taken
one
or
in-
this or that,
so it'd be like-
whatever it is.
I don't know what the math
Great,
would that be.
you know, that's why she has that
Anyways,
much confidence
so
2 months ago.
literally when I
sat
start
down
my
with her,
computer,
it was nothing.
it's like a brand new computer
Okay, so
every
this
time.
is a conversation.
How would that make her
I don't know
complicit?
how to fix it.
Complicit.
It just says my
And
Windows
again, you
error.
said complicit in the death of Charlie
Complicit
Kirk.
in what? Yeah.
All I know is to get a
Well,
new
if you
hard
let me
drive
finish
and
my
get
sentence,
new
I can
Windows.
tell you that.
That's
My
what it
point
said.
being is that then you
easiest
take a
way.
look at this and you go, okay,
ChatGPT
well, this
said.
is weird. Why would you have this confidence? And then when you sit across from somebody and you say, okay, great, I want to go out there and defend
So
you.
imagine
Yeah, I
every
want
time
people to know
you
that
turn
you
on
can't say
your
this stuff
computer,
publicly, but
everything
you
you
know more things. And
downloaded,
she
everything
just
you
blanks. And then she
saved.
says, well, I'm going to call the
Literally
lawyer.
everything.
And she called the lawyer.
You
Again,
have
all
to
this is on my show.
retype
So
it
out
in.
of context clips is not going to work because I
Makes
know
you
what I
not
say on
wanna
my
do
show.
anything.
So we call her lawyer,
On
and
that
her lawyer says to us,
computer.
she calls him on the phone, pardon me. And,
This is my
Justin
streaming
Strife.
computer
And
too, so.
I'm like, okay, great. What do you guys have? He goes, well, we don't have anything yet. We're not at that phase yet. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't have anything? And he says, well, don't you know how it works? It's a probable cause hearing. So basically the state
this thing's dead.
says that they're going to bring this forward. And now our people go out and they look for the evidence to assert that Tyler
no,
Robinson is
not yet.
guilty. And so I asked her directly, her lawyer directly, the phone's in between us. I'm like, wait, so just so I'm clear, you
She's
haven't
saying
seen anything that
nothing
the
like
public
drop
hasn't
Candace.
seen? And he says no.
Time travel.
So I'm going back in my head and I'm going, okay, so why is Erica saying...
Wait, whoever
with
wins gets the
such
money? I
a
thought
degree of
no, they
certainty
get
that
the
she was
money
sent out to
no
convince the
matter
public,
what.
and people bit, by the way. I remember even Megyn Kelly was like,
Wilson
let's
lost
wait.
debate.
She's going to have
and
access to
these
things.
people
I
are
did
idiots.
think
They
she
don't
had
lose
access to things
money.
that we didn't have. Why express
both
that
got
confidence to the
300K.
public as opposed to just being like, we don't know yet. I feel confident he's involved. They
But
made an
I
arrest.
don't
They
understand
robbed the fucking
How would
chat.
any of this make her complicit, and in what?
Well, I've already told you she's complicit in trying to
That's
fool
crazy.
the public into thinking this is some open and shut
300K
How's she
case.
trying to
each
fool
for
the
this
public
debate.
into this? If she believes
Like,
it,
don't look
if she
anywhere
believes
else.
that Tyler Robinson killed Kirk, if she
Oh, this
believes
is what I
that,
wanted.
how would that be
16
complicit in
gigabyte.
anything?
I do.
Are you
believe,
saying that you think she doesn't believe it?
I don't believe that at that.
Oh,
time
it's
she sat down with
16?
Barry Weiss, that's what she believes. No, but that's my opinion.
But
That's
when
why.
you just say complicit, you just mean she believes.
You're
that
missing
Tyler
some
Robinson
numbers on
killed
the
Kirk?
first one, but
That's it?
I know what you mean
That's
by
what we
the
were
16.
talking about. That's why I said if your strategy was to dice up clips and take it out of context and make
So
it
it's
seem like
better
that
than,
she was
explain
complicit.
everything.
Yeah, but then why not just play the full thing? Like
And
why?
maybe-
And
Because
when,
we don't have like infinite amounts of time. I'm guessing you probably don't want to watch.
Yeah, it's like 10
I'm going to go back to
times
my
more.
theory that you didn't feel confident that you could defend your claim that it was overwhelming evidence. So now you're trying to move towards doctored clips and getting
Well,
me to
there's no
respond to
doctorate
it.
anything. I'm just making sure that we got this right.
Yes,
that what you're actually
yes,
saying
I
is
do
that
believe
Erica is just complicit in believing
when
it.
I re-examined her actions backward because I did not
You don't
have
get
this
ads?
perspective of her
Oh,
at the
shit.
beginning,
I
which
was
is why
about to
it's
say.
so funny to me that
Like,
you
what the
guys
fuck
make it
do you
seem
get
like I'm
ads?
ground zero. People thought Erica was
shouldn't
sus
get
from
ads.
day I forgive him, and I was not a part of that. I did not lean into
Bro,
that.
isn't it only
I did not
$1?
contribute to
Oh, I
that.
thought
was
it- I
getting
thought it was $1.
actually terrible messages from my fans
Wasn't there a
being like,
month it was
Candace,
$1?
you and
How much was
Charlie
it?
always say to
$4?
go with your intuition. You won't
I will.
address this, how we all feel about her. Things
Here, I'll
changed
show
for
you
me when
real
I saw
quick,
that Zoom
'cause
call.
I don't-
I will tell you that
There's not that many people
for
caring
sure.
about
And the
this.
fact that she lied to me. So
I
I
still
sat
gotta
across
watch
from
it.
her and, I wanted to have that conversation publicly, but they're probably grateful they didn't do it publicly. She told me
Where's the
some
money
lies.
section?
And so the next thing that happens naturally when somebody lies to you, you go,
Earnings,
when any
here we
person
go.
lies to you, whether it's a toddler,
Okay,
people
so,
only lie
Pop It,
when they're trying to obscure something else.
Have you addressed
Pop
what
It,
that
you
lie
know
was?
Pop It.
Yeah, I've talked about,
He
we
gave
have a
me,
list of lies that people
$2
told about you. We
yesterday.
can find that,
In
I'm
the
I was
sure.
meeting with
freaking
her.
out.
Well, no, I
something.
didn't want her to
forgot.
cage up. I didn't want to do this.
Oh,
And-
we were.
because
I was trying to
didn't know what
download his game.
expect.
and it
Like
wouldn't
I
work.
didn't know if she was going to be like, I'm so overwhelmed
this is how
with
much I needed.
everything, you know, and I don't know
He
who
didn't
to
know
trust
that.
the
He just gave me that.
organization.
But this is how much I
and
need now.
I don't know what I'm doing. Like I didn't
Oh, here it
know.
is.
I didn't want to.
Just out
I
of
got
curiosity,
44
before anything
out of
happened with
50.
Charlie,
So last
how
time I
close were
streamed,
you and Erica?
I had
Not very
42.
So there's not a
No.
And I
relationship.
got $2.
No, there. I mean, there. I like.
$2 this month.
I would say it's totally normal. Like it's
Estimated
not like
revenue
there was
for
any
August,
issues
$2.
at all.
$3.
We were always nice to each other.
I
It
can't
just
spend
is
this until I get
our
50
life went to
till
a
it
different
gets
phase,
to
right?
50.
So Charlie and I.
But it's been like that
traveling
for
4 days a
6
week.
months,
Now
or
I get
how
married.
long have I
find
not
love
been
of my
streaming?
life. I get
It's been
married
like
and I
that.
get pregnant. I haven't
I
stopped.
couldn't
being
take out
pregnant.
any money
And
that
what
you
you want
gave
out of
me or
life changes. You
anyone
don't
else
want to
gave
be
me.
running around
You couldn't take it out.
for 4 days a week and
Not
traveling
until
on
I
a plane
get,
nonstop. You suddenly want to start
5
building
more
a home
bucks.
and live. I was designed for that suburban
And I might
life.
do a
Did you guys ever
giveaway.
do the double dates? You,
Once
George,
this-
her, and
once
Charlie?
this
Was it
gets
ever
done,
double dates between
I
the
might
four
do
of you?
I was
supposed to do a
engaged
giveaway
to
once
George
this was
quickly. We were
done.
planning our wedding. I was kind of in my bubble
it never
with
happened.
George. George traveled with me and Charlie, but
Hopefully,
Erica and him were just starting to date at the beginning of 2019. George and I were planning our marriage,
wanted
so
to show
George really
everyone
got to know Charlie. I wouldn't say that I really got to know Erica. I was just rooting for them because I knew how much Charlie wanted to, find love, and so I was kind of his.
Bro, you can
kind of
plug
normal
in,
that
like,
by that time because
You
of where
can
I
put
was
in
in my
more
life,
RAM
I
and
wasn't
stuff. I don't know what
spending
kind of computer
any
you got.
time,
But
getting
if
to
you
know
got
Erica,
one
per
that
se.
you can
The
upgrade,
complicit part about Erica to you, is that a gut feeling? Do you think
It
You can upgrade
transformed
some
when
or
she
you
lied.
can
you can
upgrade
take
some
the lead? I'm just
laptops.
asking questions.
Yes.
If you
Yeah,
want to
well, I
go
don't-
for it.
I actually
Not all of
don't
them,
know. I
but
still don't understand
there's some of
what
them you
she's,
can
you
upgrade
think
the
she's
RAM.
complicit in.
Yeah, so when I say Erica's complicit, and that's my opinion. When you
There's
tweeted
one that you can upgrade
Erica's
everything
too
inside of it.
retarded to kill her husband,
Yeah.
would you like to explain
But
how you
usually
developed
you
your
can
evidence, your
you can
positive
upgrade
evidence for
the
the fact that
RAM.
Erica was retarded?
The SSD.
Yeah, sure. So
Yeah.
I just think all women are retarded.
Oh, so you're allowed to just say stuff.
And
Who knew?
that's like the
So,
bare
and,
minimum.
what, and by
asked
the way,
me.
and
Like,
what,
what-
what dramatically transformed
just
your
make
opinion
sure
of
your,
Erica after going to the
your
headquarters?
CPU is
Because
good.
you were
'Cause it's
pretty
gonna have
hostile
dedicated graphics.
about.
I wasn't hostile towards them.
You don't think calling somebody too retarded?
No,
Is-
come on. That's like normal tongue-in-cheek stuff for me online.
Oh, you're being tongue in cheek.
Usually when I call someone retarded, I'm being tongue-in-cheek, yeah. Like, for instance...
Oh, they
you
use
got
the R word on
supporters-
here.
I mean,
I don't know if I can use that
if
on
you want to
Twitch.
use the same exact argument, you would take
Sorry,
a supporter
Twitch.
like Owen Benjamin. He called you bad names, and
I thought they would
and called your husband bad names. Are you
delete
just,
that.
you're just like, well, that's no biggie?
I've never answered him on anything that he said. I'm saying that you now are her biggest defender. So do you still think
I'm
she's
not
too,
her biggest defender.
Do you still think she's too retarded?
No. I didn't
Yeah,
know
I was
Erica
gonna-
before. I never
damn.
met her before.
Okay, but you had an issue with Turning Point being led by a bunch of
And
fembots
once AI
and
takes
talking about
over,
the
that's
feminist
stuff.
angle.
Still do.
And then
Like, they,
suddenly
like,
you go to
automatically,
the headquarters,
like,
you go into the headquarters.
calculated.
Now all of a sudden you've got text messages that you're sharing
Usually
with
it takes
them.
a whole
You
bunch of
say
people
that
to report
you
it.
and your wife are getting involved with management.
No. I'm not involved in any management.
Well, I'm pretty sure there is a clip of you where you say that your wife went to their recent conference and sat down.
They basically just
and then
want
when
you to
were
say
under
sorry
review-
every time.
Hang on. I'll explain what happened just so that you understand.
Yeah.
So I was invited there to do some debate training. That's literally what I was invited there to do on recommendation. So I went down and did some debate. That's the first time I ever met anybody at TPUSA.
Okay, and then you said you sat down with Erica.
Well, I didn't sit down to her. I talked to her in a hallway.
So you didn't sit down and speak with Erica?
No, I didn't have like some
Erica
sit-down
is
long
kinda crazy.
conversation. We talked in a hallway.
If my
Okay.
girlfriend
Is that when you
is
gave her the hug?
wearing leather
Yeah,
jeans
gave her the
after
hug
I
right there.
die,
My wife
so
did
I
too.
get
We
shot,
saw
I'm
what
like
happened.
talking
so at
on
what
stage.
point did you start receiving
You know,
text
talk like
messages
right now, right now.
from that you cited in your opening statement?
My
Well, I just
girlfriend
reached out to
goes-
TPUSA and said I'm prepping for a debate.
Goes out
Is
on
there
my
anything that's
funeral with
pertinent
tight jeans
that I can use here.
or
Do you
leather
find it
pants. I
Interesting
would kind
that
of like,
people
what
have
the
been
fuck,
asking
you know?
for, you know,
When we
basic
get everything back
questions,
together
and
with your
you're saying that you walked into their
PC, I already
headquarters
got
and
Dune, I
reached
thought.
out, and they
It's
instantly.
amazing, isn't it? If you reach out in good faith and you're not demonizing
I don't know if
them
we
and
want to
saying
play
that they're
Dune, bro.
complicit in the murder of
I'm playing
people's
GTA
deaths,
6,
that-
just letting you
that
know.
Perhaps they're
But you don't
actually
need to
willing
buy me that,
release
bro.
things to you that are pertinent.
I got my own
other
money
than
now.
Thinking that, you know,
But the
perhaps
thing
you're
is,
diabolical.
the thing
Well, I
is,
don't
you
know,
need to
but
get
like, if I was
GTA
gonna
6.
release that information,
But who knows
I
when it
didn't
comes comes out. It comes out with console
I actually never demanded that
here soon, but it's gonna suck because it's only 30 FPS. Who the fuck is gonna play 30 FPS and you can't even stream 30 FPS? It's gonna be way too slow.
To release it to a guy that
and
too retarded in June.
I don't know when it comes out for
I just think it kind of shows that Turning Point is sending you as their horse.
But that's what I'm buying.
They just don't have the courage.
I'm buying
to have
GTA
the
6.
conversation.
And I'm playing
If they were
GTA
just
6 till I
releasing
die.
something in good
Let me ask you a
faith to answer
question.
questions.
Do you have any
I've never
evidence of that?
demanded.
That's gonna be the game, bro. I'm sorry.
It's not evidence.
No?
You're sharing your opinion
No.
that she's too retarded. I can't share my opinion.
But online's
I think
gonna
it's
take
more
forever,
it's
so I'm
really
gonna play
obvious to the
campaign,
public that rather than
and
presenting
then
that
hopefully they
throughout
have
the
like.
course of everybody wanting to know what Charlie was going through his last days.
They should have a
decided to give it to
multiplayer
you to
for
come to my house
campaign
as
by
some sort of
then.
a surprise.
Well,
Do you think the
when-
public's not
and
smart
then,
enough to
Do
see
you
through
think?
that?
Do you think?
Because I think that
You're
it
talking
had
about
that at
terrible
GTA.
PR?
Yeah, they had
There's
multi.
a
Yeah, there was
huge
GTA
debate that's
5
coming out
had.
that's gonna
Dude,
be
GTA
probably
5 had
one of the most viewed
multiplayer
that year. And
campaign.
one of the debaters calls you and says, "I'm taking this
Because I remember
position.
beating the game
This is the
with people."
position that I feel like there's the most evidence for." And Candace also
Yeah.
agreed to answer many of my questions
Yep.
in regards to this. So if you got
Yeah, so it
pertinent
has to be
evidence
in
here that I
6.
can
Okay,
use, I definitely like take
we
a
got
look.
What
beat
is
the
the-
It was actually
campaign
amazing
together,
to me.
and then
It
online
really
will
was
come out.
actually amazing to me how if
And
you
then I'm playing
approach
online.
people in good faith and just say, "Hey, I'd actually like to know what the facts and details are around this," they actually do.
I don't
talk
know when
to
it's
you.
coming out though. It's gonna be a
amazing.
while.
Yeah, I just
So you got a
do not
long time
believe
to save
that
up.
that they are
I'm
doing
talking
this
about
in
it.
good faith. I don't
Bro,
believe
less
that
than a
anything you
year,
have done has demonstrated
but
that's
more
in good faith.
than
It demonstrates that you walked into Turning Point
6
USA
months.
headquarters and came out a different man because you were
More than
critical of
6
the organization.
months.
You
Still
were critical of Erica, and now you're sitting here going,
Well,
Candace,
first
I
of
want to
all,
interrogate you for
have
an
you
hour
ever
and a half
been-
about
Maybe a
Erica.
year. It
Have
might
you ever
actually.
Erica?
No, they're
of
actually
somebody
saying
that you hadn't met
2028.
and you
I
meet
just
them
looked
and
it
you're
up.
less critical of them?
2028.
And the inverse has happened too. I was
Right,
critical
exactly.
about Erica, and now I'm
At
more
the
But I'm
critical about
asking
her.
you, isn't
Beginning
it
of
the
2028.
case that there's people you've been critical of, and then
That's-
you've met them and you're less critical after you meet them?
That's a
too
year and a
retarded.
half.
I feel like if you think that she's dumb and you let's just talk about your record. I mean, you're a person that has spent time in what most people would term to be the manosphere, talking about well, yeah.
I debate against
against feminists
and red pillars.
Okay.
And a lot of the actual. So I'm a Christian ethicist. I
And
always
then you
take
go
the
on to
ethics
Joe
position.
Rogan, and you're like soft
Yeah,
explaining
you have
away
to
why
get it
Erica
on
had to take
release, bro.
over
You have to.
Charlie's
I'm
company
getting
when they
it.
don't have a parent at home.
think it's
so now you're a
$100,
feminist
so-
icon. Like you just go into the headquarters and you just
I'm
shift all
buying
of
it.
your
I don't care.
perspective.
I
That's a
have to.
bizarre criticism.
I'm not gonna
Like,
buy anything
nobody's
else,
in the
so.
bigger girl boss position than
That's
you.
the only game
I'm
I'm gonna
actually
buy.
no.
You're in the
this is-
biggest of the girl boss
Because-
positions. Like you don't have to do this.
Look,
You just.
I
do
think
do this.
everyone's
You
gonna
could
have it.
definitely
Like
not do it at
everyone.
all and be fine, right?
Or
But you still do.
I might
I would say that you
Steam
are making
unlock
a
it.
comparison that cannot
If there's
be
a cracked
compared
version
because-
within
because
24 hours, I'll
Erica's
Steam
husband
unlock it.
was just assassinated in front of the world.
Just kidding, Twitch, I'll never do
Why
that.
she would take the organization
No,
over.
that it makes sense why you would go home to
Silly
your kids. Just so you
people
know.
that do that.
Wait a second. That's bizarre.
Because
wanna
they don't have a
protect-
parent. They don't have a
you wanna
parent, and
protect-
they've just suffered a trauma. You don't
Yeah.
go into the office.
You
6
want to
days later.
protect your husband's legacy.
Oh, my phone
right?
No.
You're trying to find some
The
new
legacy
normal.
is
I think
his
that's how my
children, not the
computer broke.
organization.
It's both.
I'm not doing that shit anymore.
Yes, it is both. It's
I'm just
totally
kidding. My
rational
computer
and
broke
reasonable
because
to
it was
believe that it
5
would be
trolls,
both Turning Point USA,
was-
that is part of
surprisingly,
Charlie
one of
Kirk's
them
legacy. He
wasn't
worked
you.
his whole
I
life
think
for
this is
it.
why people think she's
and,
sus.
and his children. Now, for you though to say that anybody's a
Got
girl
me to
boss,
format
right?
my
That's
I
like
think
the pot calling the
came out
kettle
of-
black.
That came out of your mouth.
No, that was you. You brought up girl boss.
Girl boss came out of your mouth.
You did something.
Yeah, I'm just
but
I'm telling you that you
honestly,
brought up
these
this
fucking
idea
kids
that I'm defending some feminist
did more
nonsense. I'm not.
damage.
I'm pointing out that they're by the way,
She's not
there's
qualified
always
to take
objective-
over his company.
There's always objective outliers to
Like
each
hard work
situation. In fact, it's the
damage. They
exception
do
that proves the
more
rule. And the interesting thing here is like,
physical damage or
I'm still
botch.
just as
I
critical
literally
of
had to buy a whole
feminism
bunch of
inside
shit
TP
now.
USA as I've always been. And I'm
Your
just
damage
as
I
critical of any
I had to
pro-Zionist
stream
position as I've ever
forever to
been.
earn
None of that's ever
some
changed.
kickback.
By the way, I would think it's the most rational, reasonable thing on planet Earth to do
But you can
if you
argue
wanted to
I didn't
actually
work
see an
the whole
organization
time, so
change,
it's not
to
mine,
try
but
to
that's
work
my
with
fault.
leadership
But
or reach out to
anyways.
leadership to try to do so.
I
Doesn't
need to
that
fix
make
this
the most
computer.
I
sense?
would like to state for the record that I think
Turning on my
Erica is
phone right now.
underqualified from to run
Perhaps.
that to run the organization,
Sure.
and
And we
on
gotta finish
the more emotional aspects, I agree with what
been
seems
on
to
for
be a
3
majority
hours, bro.
opinion. 'Cause I'm not gonna say it's scientific.
3 hours.
That any woman that would leave her kids and go right into the office after
When
their
are they
husband was
gonna be
publicly
done?
assassinated, does not have their priorities straight.
Okay, well,
Actually,
I
I'm
understand that you can
it.
have those criticisms. Yeah. But I'm not understanding still how that would make her complicit.
I don't have to keep answering the same question.
Okay,
so let's
you feel like you got an answer to how it's complicit?
Your team is asking to play a clip, so if we want to play this clip to just finish this segment on the
I couldn't even hear it.
Topic, we can spend some time on that as well.
Okay.
So if you guys are ready in the back,
Sorry,
we're
guys.
ready.
And causing that
Right.
3.6
It was too
diameter,
loud,
as
that's what I
would
meant.
happen with a pet and explosives, as we've demonstrated to you in the past, Accidentally, because of how Charlie was crouched, went up and hit his neck.
Okay, there we go.
And that ruined everything. That ruined everything. It was problematic. It's the reason why Terrell had to scramble to get the cameras down because they were never supposed to see it. They could have said.
I just found out that if you have 2 cars for your car,
oh, bro, you want to watch the EDP documentary? You've probably never seen it. We gotta watch this first. Fuck, I didn't get to finish the EDP documentary.
Neck stopped it because he ate.
It might be age restricted. No, it's not. I don't think it is.
They panicked. That was what. Then that's why Terrell's nervous on the phone with me. Again, this is my theory, and I am now very much sticking to it. Okay.
The EDP documentary, bro. I was watching that.
That's why she would have.
That's a crazy one. We'll watch the trailer.
Because I was going, why is Terrell saying, well, I didn't want Erica to relive. Oh, that's why I did it. He didn't have an answer. He was nervous. It was crazy.
I'm gonna put the. At least we could pause this. So we're gonna look at the EDP documentary. And then I don't know if you know Caleb Hammer, but yeah, I like him. We're gonna watch him too. We're just gonna watch the trailer because I already watched.
And again, I have it right here. I know the answer, but I just need you to tell me the answer. How old is she? 13. Okay. And before we get into the messages, there was sexual content involved, yes or no? Right. And you said correct. Okay. All right. Again, so what?
Bro, this shit's crazy.
Oh, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake.
I thought I was tripping.
This is the story of EDP 445.
like he went to that place to have sex with a 13-year-old.
Definitely viewer discretion is advised. You know, this is a perverted dude.
PvP soliciting sex from who he thinks is an underage kid.
He sent me videos of him masturbating.
I would say EDP is completely innocent.
So what advice would I give to EDP 445? You need to stop doing this documentary.
Fucking a bitch's innocence away, you know?
Why do you think you wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old?
I mean, the reason why I wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old is already fucking clear.
It's already fucking clear! Bro, that is fucking fucked up, bro.
Oh, well, he was talking to 13 and 12-year-olds. Fuck all that.
Damn!
None of you fucking faggots can break my ass because
oh, fuck.
Bitch.
Sorry, YouTube. I mean, Twitch. Is there a ETA when I can... Oh, fuck. Where'd it go? Is there a ETA when I can suggest a video? I don't know. Is there? No. Whenever this is done, bro. Whenever this is done.
So do you believe that there was a shape charge that killed Charlie?
But I do want to watch this. But yeah, you can suggest a video right after this.
No, it doesn't seem that way because you can always start a clip at the beginning of a
I don't know when this is going to be done, but after this.
Completely out of context.
Wait,
but
I didn't
so
prepare the clips, but
yeah, I think.
Bro, that EDP shit looks fucking crazy.
I don't need to say what's happening here because
that EDP shit looks crazy.
In this episode, we are now going, and that's why I said we're now going to look at some alternative theories. I made it very
Why is
clear
my neck hurting?
that this was a theory that I didn't want to look at. This is, I believe, because I don't have every episode on my head, but I'm pretty sure this is an episode where we presented the evidence that was in the car, the photos of what was in the car, right? And so we are now inferring off of what we see in the car that this very much does look like.
As soon as this podcast is done, send links. You'll know because I'll change the title. As soon as I change the title, basically.
But couldn't really wrap my head around what was the shape charge explosive. As I say at the beginning of the episode, like it was just.
I'll change the title and then you'll know.
And I was concerning myself with timelines and stories and statements that didn't make sense. Without question, Terrell Farnsworth is someone who made me think that we were missing a big part of the story. So I'm walking them through John Bray's theory. If we started to insert what we are actually observing with the evidence that we're taking a look at and what took place that day. So we're completely in the hypothetical right here. And you're now introducing this.
If that's the case, if you're just hypothetically exploring it, that's why I'm just asking directly.
Yes, but that's obvious when you watch this episode. So that's why it feels like I'm in the middle of an interview with CNN when they like pull up random clips and they're like, "What's this? What's this?" You watch the episode, you know what it is.
I'm just trying to make sure. Do you think that your alternative theory?
I think John Bray's theory should be explored. Yes.
Okay. Do you think that Charlie Kirk was killed with an explosive?
I think that is a possibility. Yes.
That's a possibility.
He's done a lot of work on it. John Bray has done good work, and I think
no, he did not die from explosive.
He's now starting to gain steam since we released the second set of the photos of what was in the car. I think it's viable.
So this was
be right back. Okay.
On the explosives too. Mm-hmm. What is it about that theory that's actually compelling to you? So I looked into the explosive mic theory multiple times, and the biggest thing that stood out to me is there's no explosion. there's literally no explosion. In fact, there's videos when the shot rings out that kills Charlie. At least it sounds like a shot to me. People are actually like looking up towards where the gun is being fired. They're looking away for where the sound is. Like, where's the actual explosion?
Well, for every person that you say looks away, there's going to be a person that was looking forward. We have
that was
gotten on and said, it looks to me like there's an explosion under his shirt, right? You obviously saw.
Four Marines, those 5 dumb ass people.
Forgetting which platform it was, where he said, the first thing I thought was it looked like
the man that killed Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, and I think he's qualified.
Not him, but the streamers, the 5 dumb streamers that I used to like.
Run that clip of Rob O'Neill and what he said and what he observed in his experience. Yeah. So I'm gonna take that, and also there were people who immediately spoke to the media that day who said the same thing, that they thought that something happened under his shirt. That was actually, if you go back to like my first episode when I was just observing what I saw with my eyes, I was asking the serious question. I was seriously saying, why is it like somebody shot him from underneath? Why is his shirt moving first? It doesn't make sense to me. And
that's because of air dispersal from the bullet.
Yeah, it was a big ass round.
Whenever a bullet is shot, a projectile shot, you can actually run this experiment yourself if you have a rifle. Mm-hmm. Take like an empty box of ammunition and put it on the table, and then fire it near the muzzle, and that box will actually blow off the table.
Okay, so question for you. Does that box go sideways off the table?
It can.
It can.
Yeah, it can. It depends on the dispersal.
You 3,000 pounds of energy or 2,000 pounds of energy coming at you. That's how much it carries.
Well, it's not 2,000 pounds of energy.
Well, we can fact check that. How many pounds of energy is it? A 30-06 being shot 150 yards away. That's a great question for Grok. I'm going to say when we looked at it, it was between 1,500 and 2,000. I'm pretty sure pounds of energy coming at you, and you just go upward and to the side. I don't really buy that. I'm going to just say I just.
The 30-06 is. I agree with her on the 30-06. That's it.
But I also want to say that you're saying this can happen, and Rob O'Neill is infinitely more qualified, I think, to speak on that.
It should have been.
Well, because he's actually.
I look bigger than 5.56. It looked like it maybe.
Well, because
did he slow down all the videos of the people he shot?
A 4.54.
Well, why are
you 7.62 just as big?
How projectiles were.
And that rifle looked like a 308, honestly.
If it is the case that you have energy,
I think it's a 308.
And you have mass, and the mass is moving in the air has to go.
308 hollow.
It doesn't have a choice.
I think you're like.
No, not hollow.
Guessing right now.
No, it can't be hollow because there's.
I'm telling you the truth. If a bullet is moving in air,
I don't know. It seems like it has to be a 5.56.
I don't know. I disagree with that. I'd like to say for the record, I've watched some of you do these sorts of things.
But the rifle,
a lot of confidence, and
you can fact check it.
It's kind of big.
Bullets displace air.
Not about whether it dispersed air, where it dispersed the air. Underneath his shirt here.
It's not underneath the shirt.
A bullet's this big, and you're telling me it's going to hit his neck,
Candace,
and then
it's not underneath
it is beneath
the
his shirt. The
it
shirt
starts
puffs.
up here, and the collar's moving, and then you see the wave here as he's moving backwards.
No.
Yeah.
That's not true.
It's not.
And we obviously can't show that clip. I disagree with you.
Okay, I understand you can't show it for TOS purposes.
Exactly. I disagree with you. People can go watch and make up their own minds. We don't need to debate it. Whether or not that was the first thing I said was, why is his shirt moving first? That didn't make sense to me. It almost looks just like this. It goes across. His necklace breaks first before Charlie even reacts. If you watch it in slow, his necklace breaks first, which I thought was very odd. And then you
cameras can't pick up that quick.
There's the entry wound on his neck. I would not confidently assert that I see smoke. I've never said it on my platform.
Do you think that an explosion generally has smoke?
I don't think that there's any quality version.
Got her ass. She thought it was talking about a bullet. Got her ass.
4K footage that he has from the front. So
there's a lot of if you look at the Israeli pagers, it's assumed that it's a similar, if not the same type of explosive that was used inside the pagers that would have been used inside of this road mic.
I think that you should, since you love debating, you should debate someone like John Bray, who's worked on that theory for 11 months, and ask those sorts of questions of how.
She knew she just got to. Ah, it's crazy. Clip it.
Episode that you're clipping said.
She knew it. She knows she's getting clipped.
And I think he has debated a ton of people actually regarding this topic. So that's the route that I would send you on. For the purposes of for the purposes of my show, I do believe, to answer your question, that it is a hypothetical. I mean, that it is a theory that should be thoroughly explored.
There's 2 clips your team wants to show. One of them is the Rob O'Neill clip, since we're on it. So if you guys are ready in the back before we go to ad break, if you want to pull it up, this is a good time to do so.
And good to see you, General Holt. A lot of things bothers me about this. Nothing in particular, and it's not like I'm out there saying big lie or a conspiracy or someone did it. I'm just saying I've been in a lot of shootings. I've killed more than a handful of people, and this thing looked shady off the bat. I mean, I've killed people closer than I saw the camera, and I've never seen a shirt move like that. That looks like an explosion to me. Just the fact that no one started doing first aid to Charlie Kirk, they were more concerned about getting SIM cards out of cameras, removing cameras, and then getting him off the X somehow. There didn't seem a lot of concern for his life. It seemed like just clean it up, and then I mean, I've been.
I agree on all that.
A couple days later, and
I agree on all that.
Kirk, behind all the.
I agree on all that.
And she's really quick to forgive the alleged shooter.
That's facts.
Says, that was him because I forgive him, but that you can't forgive Candace Owens for having an opinion or asking questions, and they mock people by saying, "Oh, I'm just asking questions." Yeah, I'm a SEAL Team 6 sniper. I'm asking a lot of questions. No one wants to answer them.
Yeah, I agree.
He's actually said very little about the explosive there.
Yeah.
He observed. He said he's shot people up close, and he's never seen a shirt move like that, and it looked to him like an explosive. That's what he just said.
But when I play that video at full speed, I can't see a shirt moving. I can only see a shirt moving when we slow it way down. So if I'm in real time, I'm just assuming this, right? If I was in real time and I was in like a close quarters combat, you kill somebody situation, and I shot them, would you even see the shirt move?
Well, I just feel like 5 minutes ago you were arguing that it was because the bullet carried air. Now you're saying you don't see the shirt move at all.
Yeah, but if you slow it down, the disbursement of air, that's where you're going to see it, right? It's going to be very quick. Very, 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 very fast.
Yeah,
and then
that's not what I saw, and clearly it's not what he saw, and he thinks that there could be an explosive. So I'm just saying to you, people disagree with you. Your opinion's not a fact. That's all.
I understand.
I think that's a good place for us to, if we have another break, and then we can keep answering your questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think, sounds good.
Perfect. We'll do a quick 3.5-minute ad break. We'll be back for the last
3.5-minute ad break and on the last segment. Okay. Well, at least you know it's almost over. But damn, that's a long ad break. We're not watching the ad, obviously. Hold on.
We chose knife. Instead, we chose Tuscan.
Oh wait, live. Oh, cool. So it's gonna skip a little bit of it. This is what we're watching next. Besides, actually, no. Whatever you send me. Whatever chat sends me, we'll watch next. And then after that, we're watching this gold digger destroying this man's life. And the EDP documentary, I don't think I can watch on YouTube. And it's kind of stupid anyway. I watched some of it. I'd rather watch Caleb Hammer.
I said you already had nothing before you.
Cause he at least mutes his stuff.
Met me.
Or
so
blurs.
You out and you go back to nothing changed.
You said you took control to make it better.
I'm making it better, yeah. I'm a master budgeter. Like, I'm better at
Oh, much is still down.
I'm gonna give you a direct quote from her
3 days.
to her ex. I knew I didn't want to be with him, but his family had a lot of money. Where did she rescue you from? What does she do with your money right now? She is using you, my friend. Otherwise, is finally here, sending
I don't even
wins
know
to
what
the
to
personal
say.
finance world. This is officially now the best budgeting app on the market, and I'm giving you a special deal to download. Get a free trial to test it out, and then you get the monthly plan at a 33% discount for the first 3 months, or the annual plan at an insane discount. And most people sign up for the annual version because it saves a lot of money, and you get my detailed 30-day meal plan signed by me, mailed directly to you, plus the digital version of my cookbook for each recipe. Don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime. Download Dollarwise to start your free trial. Go to dollarwise.com or click the link below. I want you to be on the next episode of Financial Audit right here in Austin, Texas. If you think you have interesting finances with an interesting personality or a story or a life or relationship, I will personally pay you to take time off of work, fly you down to Austin, get you personal transportation, a hotel, food, and we'll have a great time hanging out. Go to calebhammer.com/apply or click that link in the description below.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm 27. I'm from Brighton, Colorado.
I'm Zach. I'm 39. I'm from Brighton, Colorado.
And this is Financial Audit.
Right back.
It sure is. What an age gap that Twitter and TikTok would not like, even though you're a 27-year-old consenting adult. That is big. How long have you guys been together?
Like 2 months, 2.5 months.
Oh, fresh.
More like
Whoa.
4, but no one's counting.
Well, I mean, I guess if we're talking 3 months, 4 months, it's not the biggest gap. Oh, okay. Huh. So I'm doing a financial audit on a fresh relationship. I mean, okay, I guess I should ask qualifiers out of the gate. We're not married, right?
No.
Okay, are we engaged?
No.
What was that? I go in blind, so I actually don't know.
She's still legally married.
There's no ring.
What is it with people on the show and already just not wrapping up their divorces? Like, what are you doing?
No,
are we
I'm
not
going
trying to move
court. I'm going to court.
Why are you going
for
to
divorce.
court? What are you doing?
For divorce. I'm in the process.
Okay.
Immediately after that.
Wait, so people who come on financial audit, they apply like multiple times. When did you apply?
Like January, February, maybe.
If I'm doing the math.
Yeah, math. It checks.
You weren't together.
No.
When you applied to come on, were you with the other guy?
Yeah.
You applied to come on with a different guy.
Yeah, my ex-husband.
And by the time you came on, you have a new man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Gold digger keeps destroying the She's a gold digger.
I don't think that's ever happened before.
That's crazy,
chat.
That's crazy.
For this conversation. But let's start with you, Amanda. What do you do for a living?
I work with him doing landscaping.
Is that how you found her?
No.
What? So you attached yourself to him and started working with him?
Yeah.
I want to play some games.
It's a little weird. Not because you're not a consenting adult, but because, like, what was the incentive to get with him? Was it you've attached yourself to an older man that has a halfway decent career?
Yeah, I needed my rent paid.
But it seems like the incentives to get with him might be a bit flawed.
We love you long time.
Perfect logic.
Correct? You work for him, correct?
I wish this would hurry up because I want to.
Partner on the business now.
I really want.
She's a partner now?
Yeah.
Man, I have no games, bro. Deleted them all. Look, this is what I had. All ready to be downloaded. Baldur's Gate 3. Both of the Shadows Creed.
And you just because she sucked your dick.
No, fucked up.
No, I like actually
It's that
legit.
good.
Like that's not even a hee ha. Like I'm a man. I know this. We go crazy to get a little nut. Well, again, not a joke. That's an actual real thing. Are you giving up 50% of your business because the Glucky's good?
Well, she's put a lot.
Well, this game technically, hold on.
Again, from nothing.
You're in Discord, right?
It was nothing 4 months ago.
I gotta do the Discord quests. Can I do the Discord quest? Hold on.
His tools.
I'm gonna watch this, but
But you started it a year ago. How'd you lose?
we'll do this later. But this we'll do whenever it gets back. You know the Discord stuff? Quests?
Update. These quests I was talking about. Oh, one of them's play League of Legends. Oh, this one. I want to play League of Legends. Download. I already downloaded it. It's for something, so I can get some points. Where's these quests at? I'm trying to boost the server. What'd you say? I'm back? Okay. I'm trying to boost the server, bro. Know what I'm talking about? Oh, when this comes back, I need to watch this. Where's it at? Play now. Launch rewards. You downloaded it. I swear I already downloaded it. Pretty quick. Enter. Oh shit. Let's see what here. There it is. There's the game. There we go, Sean. Alright, we gotta play this game for Twitch, I guess, for how long? I got all these quests I need to do. New more quests. League Cup. League of Legends. Play now. Oh, dude, I would definitely play League of Legends.
Who are you?
I don't know, who am I?
Extinguish the flame. See what burns beneath.
Okay.
Drop the blade. Let true steel
fantastic.
speak.
So, Andrew, if you want to go with your last.
Oh, it's back on.
Yeah, so I just have
I'm gonna pause it. We're going back to that. Finish this. Got a reward. Finish that thing. It's the last round, and then you can send your videos. But we're gonna do these quests in between. I need to boost the server, bro. I had a 3-day or 3-month boost, but for some reason it didn't work.
I'm looking forward to his next move.
Can't wait. Don't worry, I'll have it. Pre-order. Thank reward. Orbs. Need these orbs, bro. Need these orbs. This is hard to get orbs, bro. Congratulations, you just earned a avatar. It is shown off here for the next 2 months. If you think it's extra cool, keep it with Nitro. You can keep it if I have Nitro. Damn, bro, look at my new thing. Hey, y'all, look at that, bro. Look at that, bro. It's fucking. Alright, we gotta go back. Alright, what's the next one? I can't do that right now. Fuck, dude. I need to watch that fucking.
What does it say? Play the game for 15 minutes while Twitch is open. 21% play. I gotta hurry this one up. This is 700 work, so I gotta do it. I don't want to play this gay game. I don't watch the show.
Two more clips to play.
Okay.
I'm scared they're gonna get rid of it though, or take it down. Come on, wait, I can't hear it. Oh, I turned down the volume because it was so lame sounding. Sorry. I better not get addicted to this game. An accident. What I do? What they do? Change job celebration? Jody. Bro, join, bro. Ah. I don't know what game this is, bro. This. I don't know how I'm gonna play this. It's one of my points. Oh, yeah, I should have got my points by now. Oh, I'm only halfway there? Fuck. Where's the thing so I can. Alright, there. Chat. In that. You know I'm riding this thing around. That's fucking retarded. Another game. Bro, I want to play so bad. Oh, is this done? Where? Where's that done? I would love to load time. Talk to a guide. I'm about to quit this gay game. Am I done with it? No! Still got 65. That'd be cool if I could do something.
The flavor is really coming together.
Oh. How the fuck am I gonna kill these things? I don't even have a gun or anything. We're level 10. Kill me. Hey, boosting. Boosting, boys. Invite me. Boost me. Dude, there's stuff in here. How do you get it and use it? How do I attack? What was I doing before? Oh, wrong one. This is so weird. Skill unlocked. You just fucking fuck some shit up and you're good. I want my agility all the way up. Whatever agility does. What's gear unlocked? Why do you do the jobs? I don't want to do the jobs. I don't want to do the jobs. Is it done? Did I get my thing? Oh, claim reward. I think it's done in the video now. Ooh, look at it. We got enough now. Get rid of that game. It's kind of cool, but just feel bored. Riots. I don't remember my info for Riot. There it is. I'm actually excited to play this. I don't know why. But we gotta finish the video. Play. Well, this is real classic. This is our classic. This is the classic I like. Oh, I can't wait to play. Hold on. I gotta finish this.
Right, and then we can do final thoughts. I'm guessing. I feel like we got where we were trying to go, or at least for the most part.
Black flag.
The two other clips, I do want to play the Twigs clip. That one is important to me, the Twigs DNA clip.
Yeah.
And they're going to pull it up just to have you respond to it.
Well, you don't have to play it because, like, if you're saying that when I initially watched it, I thought that Lance Twigs' DNA, like, he was directly responding to that because the testimony was a bit confusing. They started by saying that they were going to, like, explaining how they got the samples, and they said Lance, Matt, and Amber Robinson, how they got their DNA samples. And then they started speaking about the gun and said, you know, multiple prints were found on them. And then they moved and they said Lance Twigs's DNA was found on the screwdriver. When I went back and rewatched it, I realized, well, they haven't officially said that Lance or Amber are on the gun. So I think I've already conceded that we don't know that. So I think like, but if you want to play the clip,
this is directly you saying it is on the gun. Twigs' DNA
I'm saying
is
that
on
I
the
feel
gun.
like I've already said to you, like I've made that concession. But just to be clear, whenever I make a mistake, I just correct it. So that's why when you were asking me 3 times, I've already said we don't know yet, and I've corrected that mistake. So the purpose of you showing this is to demonstrate that Candace makes mistakes sometimes when she's taking in a lot of information and she's reading through legal documents and she's trying to remember 9-hour testimony.
It's to demonstrate something else. It is, in fact, the case. We're all going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm going to make mistakes.
And I've already
You're going to make mistakes in the case.
Yeah.
But in this case, you were very adamant that his DNA was on the gun itself.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that it's not ruled out. We know that there's 5+ prints. I've said this so many times. I had to rewatch the testimony again. It's like 9 hours a day. It got very scientific when they were speaking about this. And I think I wrongly extrapolated that they meant all 3 of them were on the prints when the only person they officially named was Matt Robinson. So we don't know yet if Lance Twiggs has his DNA on the prints, DNA on the gun officially just yet.
Okay.
I've already conceded that.
Sure.
So
that's fine. And then the last one is one with Erica Kirk.
Sure. This is like the Erica Kirk. All right,
Well,
Erica. You could just sit down with me, Erica, but we can do it this way.
This goes back to a previous claim that you made.
Yeah,
so I'm
sure.
bringing it up.
Straight to jail, straight to jail. For questioning, at least, Erica.
I don't care who's mad. I really do not care who wants to be upset after this episode. Really, you will be wasting your breath. You can spend $1 billion.
I should save my points for this.
Becoming increasingly inexplicable. You are asking me to be an idiot, actually, and I cannot do that for you. Someone once commented beneath this show that the situations were reversed, and there were this many verifiable lies.
So straight to jail.
Yeah, so that's the show intro, and straight to jail is a monopoly term.
Okay.
Like, you know.
So do not pass go.
Yeah.
Do not collect $200.
Yes, it's obviously tongue in cheek. And then we explain that actually I think that she should be brought in for questioning because of inconsistencies. So this is the exact episode when I started to think that she should be sat down and questioned. And I still believe that. I still hold the perspective that Erica should be sat down and she should be properly questioned.
Do you know that she hasn't been?
No, actually, that would be a great thing for the spokesperson of Turning Point USA to say that she's already sat through.
Why do they?
I mean, my guess would be she hasn't because they returned everything to her.
Yeah.
But
why do they owe you that though?
They don't owe me anything. That's my show you're watching. Just the clips that you're pulling are from my show. So if I want to say something on my show, I can say that. I didn't say they owe me something. I don't think that's ever.
Like you need to be sat down for questioning, and you don't even know if they haven't been. That's strange, right?
Do you know if they have been?
No, I have no idea.
So you're just saying, what if they haven't been?
Yeah, if your entire
just kind of filling the air
if your entire thing is
junk.
No, it's not junk. If the query is why is it that Erica Kirk's not being sat down for questioning, but you have absolutely no knowledge whether or not she's been sat down for questioning or not, what that does is it creates an innuendo. It creates an inference. It creates out to the ethos that this should be happening because something's wrong here, when you actually don't have the knowledge that anything's wrong at all.
I just think that my opinion is that she should be sat down and questioned.
But you're not sure if she hasn't been.
Yeah, and you're not sure if she has been either. So, like I said, I feel like now you're just kind of filling the air with nonsense. Because Turning Point's like, we want
to my
make
knowledge,
sure that you go in there and you defend Erica. And I have to say, I don't think you've done an extraordinary job at that.
But I'm not here to defend Erica. The thing is, though, is like
that since 4 out of 5 of the clips that you had on the ready when we asked you guys ahead of time. I mean, I want to just assert how professionally we have dealt with this debate. As you can see, we have not planned any gotcha clips for Andrew. I expressed to him that what we were going to do was just to use people for fact checks, and because I might not remember something, or I do remember something and you're saying no, and that is what I think will register to people as very fair. We did not take out of context clips of Andrew to try to repair.
Expressly said that I was going to bring claims.
We did not.
Right?
No, when you said you were going to bring claims that you would want me to speak to, you didn't say I intend on sitting you down with out of contexted clips to which we said to you before in an email. Any clips that you want to share with us, send it over. Let's assert a debate claim so that we can both be ready to respond to it. That's
not really what happened.
Well, what didn't happen?
The way that you're framing the exchange, that's not actually what happened. We were negotiating. It is true we negotiated out the claim itself, right? Which one's going to take which position. I wanted to make sure that I had at least an hour and a half on mine, and you got the time for yours to question me. We did. We got through your hour and a half on mine, roughly an hour and a half now on mine. That's basically how this went.
But in the beginning, I did not take an hour and a half to just pull out of context clips with Andrew. I actually debated the substance of what's going on in this trial and this hearing. And I do think that you fell short of that.
There's nothing out of, hang on. There's nothing here except holding you to account for your claims.
Yes or no. Well, we were supposed to be debating the case and whether or not there was overwhelming evidence.
These are your claims about the case.
No, you then admitted that now you're getting into another sphere and you want to talk about the transcendentals and things that I've said.
And we got through.
And like 4 out of 5 of your clips are about Erica Kirk. So the general perception
I don't think 4 out of 5 even
is
were.
your turning points horse.
Oh,
I think quite a few of them were. Were there 3
just made
Ericas
it up?
or 4?
So you're just making stuff up?
Can we get a count of how many were about Erica? I feel like
I think it was 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah,
3. I
3.
said 4.
But those are extraordinary
sorry.
claims, which is why you're asked about them,
well,
right?
Okay, but the point being is now you're veering into trying to get me to defend my opinions, and then you completely shirk responsibility when I point out yours. No, they're not claims. When you tweet
claims.
Erica is too retarded, you go, that's just whatever, and then you move on.
That's a claim, and I'm responsible for the claim.
Well, earlier when I brought it up, you said that it was tongue-in-cheek.
Yes, sure. That's me responding to your criticism of the claim. That's all I'm doing here.
I was interested, and
I'm happy to get into also the Patsy stuff now, if you would like to.
Well,
your team has one more clip they want to play from 7 days ago.
Sorry.
They got one more clip.
We were getting into the Patsy stuff, and you stopped it, and I was explaining to you. Oh, they have one more clip. Okay, let's go.
They want to hit the minimum of 4 clips you were saying with Erica, so
100%.
This is absurd.
Okay. And this is the one you're saying from 7 days ago. Okay. While they're looking for that, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I mean, can I ask a question? I know it's been, or like, can I ask a question? Or are we
not
just
really? I'm just gonna.
Okay.
We're gonna hold to the actual contract itself.
The contract does not say that you are allowed to just question me without me being able to respond to you.
I've never said you can't
or have
respond.
a conversation.
You've been able to respond to every question I've asked you. And by the way, the other thing is like,
let's have it your way. I want it to look like
still happy
we've
to have
done
the
everything
debate.
Andrew wanted to, so that people can fairly assess the situation. So you have it your way. I will not ask a question.
Totally fair with me.
So are you good with her asking a question or no?
He said no.
Waiting for the clip.
Okay. So you want to wait for the clip first. Okay. You guys have it in the back? Okay, beautiful.
You need the Jeopardy
Your team
thing.
told me they had it, so
That's what I heard. Okay, there we go.
come on, guys.
Did this crime. Okay? Because Lance
I can't
Twiggs
hear this. My
has his
thing went out. Just
DNA
tell me what
on
it
the
says on
towel.
here. It's fine.
Lance Twiggs has his DNA on the rifle.
Lance Twiggs
And to
has
be
his
clear,
DNA on the
Lance
rifle.
Twiggs'
I've proceeded
DNA
this 4 times,
was
but I don't
not
know why they
as
feel like they need
degraded
to-
as Tyler Robinson's DNA was on Tyler's rifle. It's Tyler's rifle.
Oh, you
but
also
Lance's
said, it's
DNA
not as degraded on the rifle.
Yeah, because I thought he was one of the things. But I've already that's what I mean when I say that. Like, it just seems like you're not actually here trying to engage, because before you got to this and I knew that you had some secret clip planned. I said to you, when I rewatched the testimony, I realized that they didn't explicitly say Lance Twiggs. They said 5 other profiles were on it, and that his was the most degraded. So I hope your team feels fulfilled in playing that. Is there any more? I'm happy to play every clip that he has on the ready. Anybody?
You said you had some new evidence at the beginning of the.
Oh yeah, we
debate
should
you had
show that
something
text
new.
message that you read,
Did you
just
wanna
because
share
I
that?
think that's important for the public. You shared it out of context.
I'll do it on my show. I'll share the text
So you're going to
message.
read it on my show, but not show it.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'll show it on my show, but that's what I'll do. I'll show it on my
Can
show.
I ask why?
Well, because I want to drip out the evidence. You know, that's got to drip out that evidence, keep people coming back for the show, right?
I don't know if snark serves you so well.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'll release it there. Yeah, that's my intention. But yeah, I'm fine with closings if you want to do closings.
Well, I also would just, if I may ask a question, is that permitted?
Go ahead.
Just so I also have clarity, since your basis has been evidentiary, you keep saying that you have evidence or,
No.
or following evidence.
That's my shit.
one of the charges against, or all of them.
Actually,
What do you think Tyler Robinson is guilty of?
All of them?
Specific charge?
Yeah.
Murder?
Yeah, so what I think is that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, but of the 7 charges that he's being charged.
Yeah, can we list them real quick? I'll tell you exactly which ones. We'll pull them up.
Well, do you know any of the charges that he's up for right now?
Yeah, of course. But I want to make sure that we have them listed.
Yeah, but like that's.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what I was watching that song.
You don't actually care about this case. You're not following the case.
That's the question. You're just not following it enough.
It seems pretty like if you're going to engage and you're going to say the evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson is guilty. I just think that you should. Like,
right.
Can you tell me one?
Then let's do the counter. You can really. Hang on. This is a great gotcha.
No. You just got to ask me, play clips out of context, put me in the hot seat. So please just answer the question.
This is fair.
Name
all 7 since you've been following the case.
Okay, sure.
You
name one.
Yeah, you named all 7.
I'm happy to do that, but can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
That's actually correct.
Okay, great. Now name all 7.
He doesn't even. This is like
name all 7.
And I
can you name all 7?
I can.
Then do it.
Sure, you don't have to
do it. No, do it. I'll count them. Go ahead.
You don't have to put your fingers up.
Okay, hang on. Name them.
Yeah, sure.
Name them.
The first charge is aggravated murder because that's what carries a death sentence in the state of Utah. No, that's not. That is literally not murder.
Okay.
And so just for people, I don't have to do it in a time limit. There's nothing going on. And just to explain to people the difference of why that really matters and shows that he doesn't actually care about this at all is because aggravated murder, it's narrowly defined and because it carries a death sentence. I'm not going to answer the question.
Okay,
You're just going to recognize that your strategy of thinking that people are intimidated when you try to put a time constraint doesn't work, and you'll be better the next time you debate someone.
I got it. Give me the other ones.
The more you cut me off, the longer I'll take. Do you want to just wait for me to finish of why that's a big difference so that people don't walk away?
No, I just want you to list the charges.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. You just don't get to pretend that there's a time constraint for me to do that.
Well, how long does it take you to list 7 charges?
Because I'm speaking. You just got to.
It sounds like you're just delaying it because you don't know them.
I know all 7 of them.
Then
and I'm going to say
them.
again, because you're going to get embarrassed. You don't have to rush this. I'm also showing an example of a very flawed debate strategy. I actually am under no time constraint.
I got one.
Great. The second charge is the felony discharge of a weapon. The next 2 charges are for obstruction of justice.
Okay.
The next 2 charges are for witness tampering. And
what's the specific charges, though?
That is them. Obstruction of justice, obstruction of justice, witness tampering.
Okay, and there's no other specifics to them.
Well, I can tell you why he's being charged with it.
Just the charges and then 7?
Yeah, see, the bad thing is when you try to be an a-hole and it doesn't work.
What's the 7th?
The last charge is violence in front of a minor.
Okay, got it. So then he's being charged with murder. You just say aggravated murder. That's the distinction. You just want to.
It's a massive. It's like you cannot say murder versus aggravated murder. This gets to the entire crux of why him being up for the death sentence. And I actually find the defense's filing about why this is not aggravated to be very compelling of why it's not aggravated murder. I actually think that the state was going to even try to pull this off. They should have charged him with just murder. And then I do also, again, want to stress to audiences that debate strategy of thinking that you have to speak faster or somebody puts your hand up and they try to pretend like it's some sport. I think he thinks it's a blood sport. It's not. It's about being right and being principled when you're engaging. And
I'm getting emotional.
You make mistakes all the time, but at least be genuine in pretending that you care about this case enough to know one.
She's about to cry. She's about to cry.
That he's guilty. If you would like to move to final statements, I'm fine. I want to make sure Andrew has had the time that he has requested.
I think your team would like to pull up the 7 charges that he just asked you about. If you guys want to pull that up just to confirm the 7 you went through. Can you guys zoom in a little bit? For
aggravated murder, discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, which is counts 3 and 4, 5 and 6, tampering with a witness, and count 7
violent
offense in the presence of a minor.
In front of a child.
Yeah.
So 5, 6, tamper with witness, 13 felony. Now I did notice something. I just was curious about. I just wondered when you pulled out your phone just before you asked that question. Did somebody by chance text you that question?
You can check my phone.
I'm just curious.
No, you can absolutely not. I have not had one communication with a single person, not even my producers who are in there this whole time we were here. You want to check my phone? I'm happy to do it because you're just going to get double embarrassed. Where's my phone?
You want to see it?
I'm just curious.
You can literally do that. Here you go. PBD, you're the moderator.
Okay.
Take it.
Let's see
if anyone was texted at all during this debate.
All right.
about the violent charges or anything.
I don't like this.
You give me permission.
You
so
have full permission to go.
I don't like this.
I don't need to cheat.
So the last one has.
I'm gonna put this.
Compliment.
I haven't even read my technical.
That's a compliment.
He's reading them.
You're okay. You're giving permission.
Yes.
I'm just going to read 3 of them
Yes.
to 1132 because after that, I don't need to read it.
And you know their texts. Could have been Telegram. Could have been something.
All
like
I
that.
have is Signal. You can check that too. I only have Signal. Telegram I used in Russia.
Okay.
Was it I downloaded for
I'll
Russia.
take your word for it.
Yeah.
Then-
I don't need to like. I
Okay.
deeply care about this case. I don't need to pretend
I get
to
it.
know
If you
stuff
deeply
that I
care
don't
about the
know.
case, I just, I have my other question is about the steakhouse receipt.
You just said that you were done asking all your
Nothing, just so you
questions.
know,
Yeah.
nothing there.
I don't
Yeah. Do you
need to
have
do
the
that.
steakhouse receipts? My question.
I have said several times that I have never said I have the receipt for the steakhouse. I have said the person who's working on that story is going to be forthcoming with the receipt, and that was what I was responding to. And he then dropped the receipt. He redacted elements of it, and I said, "Stay tuned. He's the one working on that story."
Okay, so you, you haven't actually confirmed that Robinson was at that stage.
All I did, as I said earlier in this conversation, was I spoke to the owner when I broke that story. I think it was back in January. I spoke to the owner, understood what had happened, and that there was a receipt. That's it. That's the extent of what I shared is what happened.
Okay, so to be clear, there's no receipt. You
No,
don't,
I just said the opposite. I said there is
well,
a receipt.
you don't have a copy of the receipt.
The receipt is published online.
Yeah, right, with blurred
The
out.
person working on this story that blurred that out is what I was referring to when I said stay tuned and keep following his stuff, because he went to go do what I hadn't done, which was he interviewed the actual server.
So there's no evidence that Tyler was at that steakhouse.
I would say the receipt with his debit card number, it would be some hard evidence that
I
is-
agree with that.
Yeah,
but,
so that's it. But you're questioning me.
But is there, as of right now?
He paid. If you're asking me, did he pay with a credit or debit card? The answer is yes.
No. Is there proof that that was actually his debit card that he paid with?
I think you should follow the person that is behind that story.
Well, the reason I'm asking you is because you always include it in your timeline that he traveled to the steakhouse.
Yeah, we've been building a timeline with things that we feel are
But is there any
Utah
actual
1102
evidence?
approved. I think speaking to the owner, knowing that there's a receipt, seeing the receipt is good enough to put on our timeline.
But the receipt itself, the question I always had about it is, couldn't you just call the merchant? Like, if I've ever had a merchant account, I just call the merchant account processor and say, what's the name on this?
Yeah, I would stay tuned. I feel that having spoken to the owner, that the evidence is compelling enough to put onto my personal timeline of what took place on that day. That's where it's going to stay. And if it gets debunked, I'm happy to take it off. If that's what you mean, that's how an investigation works. Like I said, I did more than enough. It would definitely pass the test by the Utah 1102 rule, for sure, for certain.
You submit as hearsay.
Well, yeah, beyond that, because they didn't even have receipts. They were like, Bob told me this.
But the question is, the receipt.
Next Insurance has me covered if I were to shoot a water supply line like this. As the owner of a small carpentry company, my expertise lies in millwork, not insurance. Next makes getting insurance super easy. Simply go to the app, pick your plan, select your industry, and get your certificate of insurance that same day. So make sure you guys go check out Next Insurance for all your coverage needs.
You can do what you
wrong?
want, sure, but I'm
I just
asking
wanted to make sure.
should you include it that you know hasn't actually been verified to be Tyler Robinson?
Yes, we should. If we're trying to build a timeline, we should. Yeah.
You don't think that falls
And then you should
under-
remove it if someone somehow debunks it. But I think that there is very strong evidence that is where he was, and that
What's
is.
the strong evidence? Just the two people who said that they saw him?
You know, I'm actually all good with the. I think I've sufficiently answered your question about how I got
All
the
right, fair
information,
enough.
what happened next. Would the next stage of this investigation being somebody accessing knowing what his debit card was and confirming it? Yes, and I do believe that will happen. If it does not happen and it gets debunked, I'll remove it from my personal timeline that I share on my show.
That officer, the first officer that was up on the roof.
Mhm.
Do you remember his name?
Officer Bagley.
Yeah, what was his first name?
Christopher.
Christopher. When Christopher got up on the roof, you
No.
talked a lot about how his camera died.
Well, he talked a lot about that during the
About
preliminary
his camera
hearing.
died.
Yeah.
Do you think that he planted that screwdriver up there?
No.
No. Who do you think planted it?
If we're just going on am I allowed to have an opinion?
Of course.
At this stage, I would say that I don't buy his assertion on the stand that he didn't check to see if anybody went onto the rooftop before he got up there. I do think that it's possible, it's at least plausible that the screwdriver was planted. I don't believe him. What I can say strongly is that his cam died at just the right time. His body cam died at just the right time. I think that, as you were just grilling me about whether or not I had got the merchant receipt for a debit card, that kind of makes it difficult that we just have to sort of trust that a screwdriver was found and we don't have any should-be evidence of a police body cam. But like I said, you accept that stuff and then are like, did you call the merchant and get, like, it just seems like you
I'm not adding.
hold,
I'm
like
not
I said,
adding
you
this
hold the
to
prosecution to
Well,
a
wait a
state
second.
to a higher standard
I'm
than
not
you do
adding
to people.
unconfirmed evidence to an official timeline that I'm putting out either.
What do you mean an official timeline? This is my
Well, this is
timeline. I made it at home.
So then it would be official to your show?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, great. So then your official timeline, Candace Owens' official timeline,
Yeah.
includes a steakhouse stop that has not actually been confirmed at all.
Well, yeah, it hasn't even been discussed by the prosecution, so it's not like you're debunking that it happened.
Well, there's no evidence for it. There's no good evidence for it at all. There's no camera there. And the steakhouse receipt itself has never been confirmed to be Tyler Robinson's.
I'm assuming this is just like a talking point they gave you, and you got to like keep pushing this, or like
They gave you.
Following it very closely on X.
the receipt. You weren't even following the charges of Tyler Robinson, but you really
You
wanted to
think
know.
that
I've been
because-
following it
do you
very
think that
closely on
because-
X.
Wait, you think
I'm calling owners of
do you know
steakhouses
that-
and having a
wait,
conversation. You're following combo
Yeah,
on
I
X.
literally followed the entire trial or the preliminary live. I was live with an attorney. We covered all of it. You think because I have a momentary lapse where I'm like, oh, it's murder? No, it's aggravated murder. Come on.
You didn't know any of the
That's
charges.
splitting
you
hairs.
Didn't, no, that's not splitting. It means you didn't follow the preliminary hearing at all.
No, it doesn't
Like
mean
you
that
don't
at
know
all.
any of
That's
the charges that are
ridiculous.
against him. When this is like getting literally to the crux,
Oh,
aggravated
man,
murder versus murder.
It's
a
ridiculous.
death sentence.
And not only that, let's point this out. One of the major things here is that this is your official timeline.
It's mine.
Yes. Who else could it be? Who else? There would be Candace
What's your
Owens'
issue?
timeline.
I just don't know what his
What's
issue
your
is with my timeline.
What's your issue with that?
Well, so the issue is that the entirety of the evidence revolves around two people who claim that he was there and supposedly a receipt. There's supposedly a receipt where Tyler Robinson paid for his steak and
Why is the
no alcohol, right? No alcohol, right?
moderator interrupting?
But anyway, this particular receipt, they could have called the merchant account, confirmed it, this type of thing. To date, this receipt has only the blurred information on it that would actually give you the information to confirm whose receipt it is. We have to date, nobody has confirmed that this was actually Tyler Robinson's receipt. And yet inside of Candace Owens' timeline, which she states over and over again, when she says, this is the longest 13 hours, this is 13 and a half hours, the requirement for about roughly 5.5 or 6 hours of that is that he went to the steakhouse. And that's not been confirmed at all. Not even a little bit.
I feel like saying that I spoke to the owner of the steakhouse is me, like, not just being on X looking at opinions, but actually doing the legwork.
You're doing radio.
That's why, like I said, if you think this builds up a rapport with your audience and makes you seem like a serious person, we don't have to keep belaboring the point here.
You're starting in members.
I demonstrated that I did as much as I could to confirm this when it came in. I spoke to the owner of the restaurant. Obviously took down everything he said. Noted that there was, in fact, a receipt that he pulled. That receipt that was published is real. A debit card and a credit card was used. If for some reason somebody misidentified something down the line, or we find out it's a different Tyler Robinson, I'm happy to remove it from my timeline. But for right now, I think that there's enough under the Utah 1102 rule for me to keep it there. I don't really think we need to keep going into circles about this receipt. It's my timeline.
I don't know why the 1102 rule would apply here for your
because
timeline.
you will constantly cite things that are said in that courtroom that have less evidentiary support than me contacting and speaking with the owner of the restaurant. It's not like I dreamed it, as to use your expression. So it's in my timeline, and I'm going to keep it there if that's
sure.
cool.
You can keep whatever
Great.
you want there. I'm
Okay.
just saying that there's no evidence he was ever there.
Okay, thank you. I think
No
we
hard
delivered the
evidence,
point.
anyway. Yeah, I'm closing.
Okay, so the last thing we're going to do before we go into ad break, right after this, will be final thoughts. I'll be asking both of you if anything on your opinion, thoughts changed on the case, and then we'll finish it up from there. So with that being said, a 3.5-minute break, and then we'll come back for final thoughts. Set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury We had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap.
More ads, bro.
Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship. Each pair.
Oh wait, we're done.
Conclusions based on evidence and fact.
Yeah, I'm glad we skipped some.
Nobody can dispute the fact that these guys.
Yeah.
Live. Others were thinking this was pre-recorded. This is not pre-recorded, just so everybody knows. This is purely live. This is a little bit scarier than pre-recorded because pre-recorded you can do edits. So whether you agree with them or not, let's make sure we respect both of them for having this sit down. And before the final thoughts, I want to make sure you guys hear that from me as well, for inviting me here as well.
Of course.
I do know one day
Dead.
you sent a message on one of our accounts. He said, can I talk to Patrick? We got on the call. He said, Patrick, can you moderate this? And then I said, great, let's do this. And so before we wrap up, final thoughts, I'll come to you first.
Yeah, she had nothing. Just nothing. For all of her claims of Patsy, nothing. She didn't have a single claim. She didn't have a single solid piece of evidence. She had no positive evidence Israel's involved in anything. No positive evidence that France is involved in anything. No positive evidence TPUSA is involved in anything. No positive evidence that Erica Kirk is involved in anything. When I ask her about her claims about Erica Kirk, yeah, it's just fun. It's just funnin', you know? Or, yeah, I do think that she needs to sit down and ask some questions, or answer some questions, but you know what? I don't even know if she has. Like, maybe she has. I have no idea. Yes, I'm going to have an official timeline with unconfirmed evidence. That's just fine. Hey, it's hearsay. If that's good enough for the state, it's good enough for me. But my biggest problem with the state is that they're admitting all this hearsay. It's like she's a contradiction machine. On top of all of this, the thing that I wanted to get out of this more than anything else was to just demonstrate one thing. Yes, it's true. I'm not perfect on the case. I'm not going to ever pretend that I am, and never did. But what has been made very clear to me is that there's nobody with an alternative theory that has any evidence for it at all. None. Zero. And the continuous kind of expression, we're running an investigation. What kind of investigation builds a timeline out on a receipt that they don't even confirm? What kind of investigation tries to make these bold claims that Israel's involved and France is involved and all these different players are involved and never shows any evidence? We're just asking questions. It's again, like I said in my opening, it's all this intuition, feelings, how I feel about things, how I think about things. Andrew, how many times do you hear this today? Andrew, you can't tell me how I'm supposed to think. Yeah, nobody's trying to tell you how to think. But you should rationally come to your conclusions based on evidence and facts. And the truth is that 90% of what you're saying is simply intuition based. It
I agree.
In a dream. It's intuition. Almost none of it has any evidence at all. Just, I'm skeptical because these people over here said things, and that makes me skeptical. And it's like, but no evidence. Note this to the audience, to everybody watching. You might hate my guts. That's fair enough. I get that. I'm not the most likable man. I understand that too. But there was nothing. I mean, no evidence at all that Tyler Robinson was a patsy that was ever put forward by Candace this entire debate. Now, maybe you could say that we stalemated when it came to whether or not Robinson did it. She says, I found the evidence convincing, or unconvincing. Andrew says he found the evidence convincing. Okay, fair enough. Maybe you can't do too much about that, but there was nothing. She had nothing for Robinson being a patsy, nothing for any of her conspiracies, not a zero, zilch, and she backed away on a bunch of them. This is the first time I think she's ever really backed away from the Twigs thing. First time I've heard her back away from the Erica thing, back away from TPUSA, being very cautious about making any of those claims now, whereas on her show, much more likely to be making those claims. So she just had nothing the entire debate. Zero.
Candace.
Well, I think that is quite a conclusion. Admitting somewhere maybe we stalemated, it probably signifies what I've been saying from the beginning, that you didn't feel that you were strong on the actual facts and the evidence, which I was willing to engage with you. I wanted to go over the screwdriver. I wanted to go over the towel and the things that you've mentioned, and you wanted to then move the conversation into a defense of Erica Kirk and her character.
Oh, get that out of here.
Discussing with you. I would like to extend a compliment to you for being willing to sit down and to have the conversation. I still walk away feeling that the people who are jumping on the bandwagon about this case don't care about this case. They don't care about Erica Kirk. It tends to be follow that they take a meeting with Turning Point USA and they come out and suddenly have a lot of junk to say about Candace Owens. And I do want to also stress that Turning Point USA tried to pepper him with something as a surprise. He showed clips that were meant to be a surprise. I did no such thing. I stressed to PBD from the beginning that I was grateful he was taking this on and that I wanted this to be a clean debate because I believe I can win this on the merits. And I believe that I did win this fully on the merits by engaging the evidence of what has happened. I do still believe that there is more evidence which supports.
She's a liar. Fucking liar.
Tyler Robinson has been set up. And that none of the evidence that was presented was in any way overwhelming, which is why I think you wanted to move to end that discussion quickly and to speak to me about France and to talk about this Panguitch receipt and my timeline. I want to remind people that a lot of the at-home investigators, which you were open to, as you called them, internet sleuths. I think it was on a show that you did right after Charlie was assassinated that internet sleuths would solve this. This is the reason why Charlie, a year on, is still a conversation every single day trending on Twitter. I knew Charlie. I cared about Charlie. I care about finding out what the truth is here. My heart is in the right place. I think anybody who watches my show or even just watches this debate knows that if I get something wrong, I'll instantly correct it and own it. I'm not arrogant. I don't.
Chat is disabled for this live stream. Oh, it almost went away.
It hasn't been ruled out, but you saw that he just really wanted to hammer that point. You know, part of
good thing I didn't get rid of it.
Person is to concede when you are wrong, to take something off a timeline when you know it's not right. And I would like to think that that is why I have earned the audience that continues to follow me, because they know my heart's in the right place, that I deeply cared about Charlie and I deeply care about the answers. I want to thank Andrew's team who are providing the fact checks. It's a very small room that they're in. I want to, as always, thank my team who worked really hard to make this happen and flip this set. And to you, PBD, just for being a great moderator. I think very fair, letting us both speak and making sure that Andrew got out of this what he wanted, which was a little more than what I wanted. But I'm very content with how I dealt with this. And I trust, I don't need to convince the audiences with the magic trick of what they need to think about this debate. They can watch it and draw their own conclusions.
Beautiful. Fair from both of you. I think the audience won. And again, from the beginning, all of this is because of how much love and respect we have for Charlie Kirk, a great man that